Hello, Audio Marks, coming to you from the Sachem Public Library. Welcome to the Marks for Life podcast with your hosts, Jimmy, CJ, Joe, and Jared. Woo! The four horsemen of podcasting. Four casuals turned Marks wrestling fans who give you a direct line to all things in the squared circle. Enter the ring at your own risk. We pull no punches, we hit hard, and we will slam you all the info you need to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Let's hit it! Hello, Audio Marks. Welcome to this week's edition of Marks for Life podcast, and we have a special podcast for you going. It is the second annual Marks for Life podcast, The Markies.
And
we have that bump?
Yeah. And it's the return of CJ, how we all have missed CJ in person.
We can no longer mute him.
No, right. You cannot. Unless we pull a Jared and my microphone just stops working.
I guess that can't happen today because we're in a different room, so maybe it won't happen this time.
And as always, you know, we have Joe, Jared, Jimmy. We got full power, four horsemen going on.
Got something.
We have a returning special guest, Uncle Ernest.
Hi.
And he can't screw Jimmy over.
He's
this
a very
time.
excitable person.
Yeah. No, it's just because of CJ. That's it.
That's pretty much. He's stuck
CJ,
next to me. And as always, with every special episode, we always introduce a new guest. For our first Marks for Life podcast, The Markies, we introduced Uncle Ernest. For the Royal Rumble Go Home show, we introduced Joe and Jared, our new co-stars.
And we stuck around.
And they stuck around.
Why did we stick around?
We could have just taken the L on this title and not stuck around.
You could have, and
should have retired at this point with the belt. So
pulled an edge.
Flee the country.
Yeah.
And this week's episode is this special episode is no different. For the second annual Marks for Life Markies, we have a consistent listener. We have Alyssa. Alyssa, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you, sir?
I am glad to be back. With every new guest that comes on, we always ask the questions. Tell us about yourself, favorite wrestler, favorite match, how you got into enjoying wrestling.
How did CJ rope you into this?
How much money is he paying you?
Yeah, right.
I have no money.
To be honest, he didn't rope me into it. It was kind of his mother that talked to me.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Even then you can't say no.
CJ really needs this. Just
They need
be
the
here.
ratings. They need more people.
Just do it.
Because I just happened to be sitting around listening to some wrestling review, and his mother just happened to overhear me. He was like, "Oh, CJ has a podcast." I was like, "Oh,
That was your time to run out of the room, honestly.
What does this have to do with me?
And I was like, I mean, shoot, I listen to a lot of podcasts, so why not show up to this one?
Oh hell, I got nothing else to do.
Oh yeah, Jared just got roped
On the
in, no
Saturday
choice.
before Christmas.
You're laughing, but I really have nothing else better to do. Okay,
So, favorite wrestler, favorite match. Let's get into.
I'm gonna have to say favorite match still to this day. It's all the way back in the late '90s, the very first Hell in a Cell match.
I heard late '90s and I looked at you.
Yeah, I know.
He's calling
Your
you
mom
old.
was watching it then, so she was watching wrestling then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the very first Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, Taker
Undertaker
and
versus
Michaels.
Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels.
Yeah.
With the debut of Kane, and that's basically where I started. That's where I just loved wrestling because the debut of Kane also happened
Yeah.
at that same time, and I thought he was awesome looking.
He was.
It blew my little.
He was. Yeah.
He was. Yes.
He was.
It blew my little 5-year-old brain. So I
And
just,
who
Whole
would've-
character's working. Let's take his mask off. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Don't.
And who would have
Yeah.
thought 22 years later he'd be main eventing a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia?
You know what they say? If it ain't broke, try to fix it.
If it
Try
ain't-
as hard as you can.
If it ain't broke, elect it mayor.
Who would have thought 22 years later, after he breaks down the door,
yeah.
he breaks down the door into a mayoral campaign.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
What's it? What time was it?
Knoxville
There we go.
County?
Knox County.
Knox County.
yes,
Yeah.
something like that.
Who won Knox
So-
County? That's gotta be gay.
I thought they played Slow Chemical at his inauguration.
That would have been great.
Did you see the pyro launch through the building?
Oh, yeah.
So,
We'll practically destroy it. So.
we all know Uncle Ernest's favorite wrestler is Ken Shamrock for
Yes.
some weird reason.
Yeah, I listened
Yeah,
to
I don't give a
last year's
crap,
Marquee,
right?
and that threw me for a loop.
I dug myself in that hole, so I'm going to stay in that hole.
Do you have?
It's like a ditch now.
Yeah,
I
pretty much.
do
Yeah.
have a favorite wrestler. He is Chris Jericho. He's still.
That's
I-
that
yeah.
is
Good
fine.
choice. I can
Repping Chris
request that.
Jericho.
I know, and
I love Chris
I saw your
Jericho.
Fozzy shirt, and I tried not to
Chris Jericho's
I
awesome.
love Fozzy as well.
Oh man, he was so great seeing live. We were literally about 10 feet away from him because he was playing in a bar. Because Chris Jericho just plays in bars, but like so freaking popular, and it was so much fun. He brought a little kid up stage and stuff, and they were both dancing. But he
Was
didn't
it
know
Was it Nicholas?
Was it Nicholas?
No, it was Nicholas's younger sister.
You guys think this is funny, do you?
Hey, we
Yes,
got
we
it.
do.
It's a
Yes.
little bit funny.
Just trying to have a good time here.
It's,
All
it's
right.
a little bit funny.
You had fun at my expense. Now I'm having fun at your expense.
Freaking Nicholas.
Let the
I
rec-
have the belt. I'm still angry about it.
Let the record
That was
show.
the only reason why you lost, right? Is because you had the bar too.
Because I'm just like, all right, I have some sort of respect for this industry. Let's pick an actual tag team. No, they give it to some guy. Not doing this again.
Let the record show that the night before this podcast is being recorded, I beat Jared in bowling. All right, let's move on.
All right, let's get
In the
into.
fourth game.
Do we want to get into a quick TLC recap, or do we just want to explain what we liked and what we didn't like about the show?
I guess we could just do the notable things.
Yeah, because 12 matches
All
is
right.
going to be.
Oh, God.
All right.
No, don't do it.
Could TLC actually
fuck
be really
Elias,
good?
fuck Bobby Lashley, fuck that match.
Could TLC actually be one of the better pay-per-views this
It's
year?
one-
That's
I
sad that it was.
I have it as one of the
It's-
nominees.
yeah, one of my candidates for that.
It was,
Honestly, the main show, there was just one dud of a match, at least for me.
What was the dud?
hang on, don't tell me. Okay, tell me.
Rollins Ambrose. or-
Rollins Ambrose.
Oh, okay.
It was most disappointing,
It was
but then
listen,
right,
it wasn't a
definitely
bad
most
match, but
right,
it was
for-
just disappointing.
Yeah,
It was
when you hold them to that
kind of
standard.
boring.
When you put Jim Neidhart and Ruby Riott on separate tables, you kind of need to step your game up a little
little
bit.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
entire time I'm just like, Jimmy, for God's sakes,
I'm-
you can't win.
I'm
God
really
Jimmy didn't
happy
win.
Jimmy did not win that match.
Yeah, like,
Jimmy,
jeez.
not sure if you guys listened last time, but
No.
Jimmy picked Ruby Riott. And
just
Jimmy
like-
picked Ruby
yeah,
Riott.
saying Natalia,
Yeah,
we'll
but
go through
then that
the
goes
Neidhart
into
table.
my rant about Raw. What happens later? Because that was just ridiculous. I mean,
You're just mad because
No.
Ruby
I'll
Riott
get-
did
when
not
we-
put-
You wanted Natalia to go through the Neidhart table.
no. There was an actual story that was actually being told through that, and it kind of got thrown out the window as soon as Monday Night Raw.
You
happened.
also
Let's
got
be
thrown out
honest.
through a window? I got nothing.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you really
you
not.
fell flat on that joke. You should
I,
have said
I
something
had
about the
something
table.
and I'm like,
No, you didn't. That joke was dead on arrival.
Can we just complain about this Elias Bobby Lashley
No,
match?
because no one else cares as much as you do about
It was on
this.
the kickoff
It was
show.
on the kickoff show.
My
Once
only,
But I lost that.
my only
Yeah,
complaint
that's
is that they
true.
changed
Because-
the rules last minute.
So the only
They
reason
did
why you want to
change the-
complain about it is because you lost
No,
the
because
title.
they
That's
changed
exactly
the
right.
rules.
No,
that's
that's
the
right.
big thing. We were under the impression that it was a ladders match, but in the end, it would be decided by pinfall or submission. Then they scrapped it. Elias wins by pulling down the guitar, but Bobby Lashley still wins because he still pretty much pinned the guy.
It hurt both, and I'm pretty sure they're just going to pretend it never happened. And we're
I
gonna
think
move
this
on.
feud is hurting both.
This
It was a
feud
waste.
is hurting.
It
Bro.
was a waste. You're better off putting something else on the pay-per-view at that point, but whatever, they did what they did.
It was just utter trash. But TLC, I think it did pretty good for a B show. You know?
I
impressed.
think it's more than a B show based on how it did,
Well,
especially this year.
it had A show, star power and everything. But you could consider TLC a B show. Something
when I
like
was
Hell in a
looking
Cell
at the card,
or
and I
Elimination.
said it last week to you guys, I'm like, it's going to be a really good show. And your guys like, no, it's going to suck. I'm like, no, I think it's really going to be good.
To be fair, WWE hasn't had the greatest track record with B shows.
Backlash.
That's
Extreme
an F
Rules.
show.
Extreme Rules.
Yeah, but at least like
Hell in a Cell.
But usually you look at the card and you're like, oh, this is gonna be a dud. like I was looking at this card and I'm like, this is gonna work.
Something I wanted to bring up with you guys. Can we expect anything more out of a Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose matches?
Yeah, but I have to be able to expect.
Is that
something
just you
else.
trying to
It-
be
it needs-
optimistic
it needs
again?
to have
Because
a
it again
stipulation.
does not work for you.
Yes, yeah.
It needs to have a stipulation if they're going to have a match at the Rumble.
It definitely needs to have a yes and no. It's like, do I think it'll be better? I don't know, but like between the two of them and
It
Vi-
needs
and
to
Vince
be
is
better.
and Vince is pissed.
It does need to be better.
and Vince is
needs-
pissed. So it's like,
Yeah, Vince sort of
It's
pulled
gonna
the
be
plug
tough
to-
on a lot of stuff. So
With Rollins and Ambrose, it's such a tough dynamic now because it's like they went from brotherhood, then they went to a fantastic rivalry
Back
when
in
the first time
2015,
around,
2016,
and then
yeah.
they went back to being brothers, and now we're doing this again. It's not the same as the first one, and they're trying to capture that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when the Shield returned. It wasn't the same.
They
as it was
they
beforehand.
caught lightning in a bottle at first.
Right.
and then they crapped on it.
That's what I was worried about. I remember we spoke about the podcast. Like, I feel like they just kind of did the heel turn just for the shock, and then we had to see if there was substance.
But,
behind
like,
it.
at
Also, Roman
first-
Reigns had leukemia, so they had,
And then we
had
had-
to do something.
And then we had
Right.
to put Reigns' leukemia into a fucking storyline,
Which-
because we're not above that in 2018.
It's WWE. What?
Yeah.
Are they?
There was a
They're
Jim
not
Neidhart table.
A Jim Neidhart type.
There was
Do I need to remind anyone about Reed Flair?
Reed
No,
Flair.
let's not do this.
Okay.
Again, I
okay.
don't mind that as long
Okay.
as they go
Guerrero,
full out
that
and then
whole
the
thing,
face
yeah.
wins.
Okay,
Charlotte
okay.
won
Agreed.
that, so
Yeah,
I was
whatever.
okay.
Okay. If you want to have this debate about the whole Neidhart feud that was going on, whatever you want to call that, you want to talk about it? Let's
No.
talk about it.
No.
You don't have to.
No.
Jimmy,
you
you
want to talk about
you
it?
just take shots. It's fine.
I'm not gonna disagree. It was in bad taste because it's about a dead wrestler that passed away.
Was he
what, a
dead?
couple of weeks ago? That's when we
Oh,
talked about it a couple weeks ago.
A couple months,
Yeah,
right?
probably a month
Well,
and a
it's
half, I'd
probably
say.
been almost
Because it was
Now.
before Evolution, I think, or no, before SummerSlam.
No,
No, it wasn't before
that early.
SummerSlam.
I think it was like before.
Natalia
Evolution.
took part
Sounds
in the
right.
Evolution. I'm
No, yeah,
pretty
she was
sure,
in
so-
the Six Woman.
So did it happen right before?
No,
Or
I think
right
it happened.
after, maybe?
No, I think it happened by SummerSlam
No, it was
because
not.
she
not
made it
that
a
early.
return afterwards, and she got a huge pop for it.
I don't remember.
I hope she did.
Someone's gotta look it up now.
When did Jim Neidhart die?
Oh, God.
God.
Well, you're googling it, and then you,
August 13th,
Really was?
right before
So
SummerSlam.
there you go.
It felt a lot later.
It was,
It
right?
did. It felt a lot later.
But like they're milking it, which is probably why we thought.
and also his daughter is actually in the feud, so clearly she was okay with.
She was completely.
Yeah.
Okay. They spoke with her about it, and she said, like, my
She
dad
said-
would have wanted me to make
Exactly,
something
so
of
if
it
they
in
made
WWE.
an
Which,
intricate
in that
story
sense,
where-
I kind of get, but it's just I don't know.
My
It's
dad
No, if
would've
they
gone
made a
wild
story
over
where
it.
like,
With him on it.
yeah, like she kind of gets beat up and then gets into that sad moment of,
Which
you know,
one?
actually.
She cried every week.
Yeah, I understand that, Jared, but go along with the story for 2 seconds without commenting on it.
All right.
God. And then he goes through the table, and it's really sad. Next Monday night on Raw, what do they have? They have a gauntlet match for #1 contendership for the women's match. The last person should have been Natty, and then ultimately beating the crap out of Ruby Riott in a splendid match that end that Raw. You're telling me that you wouldn't have enjoyed it?
I would have disagreed because I feel like it would have been better. It would have happened that Natalia would have been so broken about breaking her father in half that she wouldn't have even showed up on Raw. So I would have probably have seen something.
Are
where
you forgetting that she's a heart?
she would have had a broken heart?
No.
After
she's
breaking-
a heart. She would have came in.
No.
That was a bad joke.
I'm just
but
saying.
She's a heart. She would have came in and
No,
just started
because
kicking
no,
ass.
I'm just happy that this feud is over. We needed
I'm glad it's over too. I'm just saying, like, there could have been a moment where you would have seen a real badassery out of Natalia
There
and
could have
then
been a lot
earning
of
that
things.
#1
We could-
contendership.
yeah.
Even
there could've
CJ's
been a-
taking the high road on this.
I took the Hyde Road, Jimmy.
Hyde Road.
Hyde Road, yes.
Hyde Road. Okay.
Yes.
The reality is, on paper, I feel like if none of this Jim Neidhart stuff was involved, it was just a normal feud. Ruby probably should have won. Because
Yeah.
she was an up and comer and she needed the rub.
But it was
well, after you
I mean,
got
it was
all
a
this
dead
involved.
guy.
There
You,
was-
you
there's
got to
no
throw the
going
bone
back.
to the dead guy. It's not a hometown advantage. It's like let's have the losing the hometown. No, it's like
Well, just like when Randy Orton said that Eddie was in hell and Randy Orton won.
no. Oh yeah, but no,
Randy Orton won.
No, wait, yeah.
but Ray won that. Ray won that
But
entirely.
Randy Orton won the match.
And we all lost inside.
Yeah, that was really in bad taste.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's
away
move on
from
to the
TLC.
Markies.
Well, do you want to talk about Raw and SmackDown really quickly?
What
And
happened
also-
on Raw and SmackDown?
We don't know. That's exactly.
Quite a
did
bit,
happen
actually.
over on SmackDown.
Quite a bit for once.
I have no idea.
announcement.
Oh yeah, the McMahon era has begun.
Whatever you want to call it. I mean,
Continued.
it was 2 very good episodes. Is it going to last? Absolutely not.
No,
But
no, it's not gonna
let's
last.
just take it for what it is.
We got 5 upcoming debuts, which I'm pretty sure everyone's excited for. Actually, I'm not excited for one of them. Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans, I kind of wanted her to stay in NXT to build up the Forgotten Sons and Jackson Riker. You know,
I agree. It's just I felt that way about Alexa Bliss. Remember when they called her up and she was in the draft like at the bottom. I'm like, why are they calling her up? And then you realize, like, I guess she's so maybe.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how Lacey's gimmick will translate to the main roster.
I don't see it.
Zeb Coulter
but
comes back.
sometimes.
Zeb Coulter
We
comes
can't
back.
just-
They
we
kept
can't just
keep her
throw
on
Dutch Mantel
SmackDown.
into every gimmick that doesn't work.
No, honestly, they're probably keeping her until probably around the fall time next year, until like that Fox deal
They
comes
should-
in, because they're gonna need to really spat out some
They need to
veteran
bring her
power
up
into
in
that.
no July 4th. She needs to debut. She needs to have 7 months of vignettes,
And
Like-
two returns too.
like Emelina. She needs to
Oh,
pull an
God.
Emelina.
God, let's not do that again.
Can that be most disappointing ever?
I'm gonna go into one debut last because I want to save it for someone. But What do you? So Uncle Ernest, Alyssa, I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on EC3 coming up? And also, I want to bring up Heavy Machinery with you too as well.
Okay.
You sound like you
who
don't
those
know
are?
who we're
Okay,
talking about.
I know who EC3 is.
All right, so we'll start with you with the EC3. What are your thoughts on
start.
him getting his debut?
I think he should stay down in NXT.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's ready yet for the main roster because they brought him up before. He's been on the main.
Is he
roster
going to
before,
SmackDown
and-
or Raw? I forgot.
No one knows.
No one knows
they
yet.
They
where
haven't
any of
said
these guys
anything.
Because
yet.
either what is it?
Like, if
SmackDown
you're
is
gonna bring up
what he's on.
EC3, okay, I understand they're gonna do that. Put him on SmackDown because I think
I
that
think
he's a very.
I think he put something on Twitter that he was like saying something about how he's going to SmackDown. A few wrestlers
You need to
put
put
something on
Lars
Twitter
Sullivan
about
on
how they were going.
SmackDown too.
Everyone wants to go to SmackDown.
Well, because
Like you
Raw has
honestly
too many
need
big
more
people.
wrestlers on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like Raw has plenty of star power, so they can let.
SmackDown
Well,
needs more big guys.
You need to recycle the star power that's on Raw right now
Yeah.
with some SmackDown guys.
Yeah,
That's
well,
really
what they
that's
do with
really the
Shake Up
problem.
after.
yeah.
So
You can't have Lars Sullivan and Braun Strowman on the same brand.
And Drew McIntyre and
McIntyre
Bobby
and-
Lashley. Just all big people.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, so by that logic, Heavy Machinery more than likely should go to SmackDown. What are
See,
your
I'd
thoughts
actually
on that,
argue
Alyssa?
the opposite
think they
because I would actually argue the opposite just because of how bad the tag team division is.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Alyssa.
Go up
I know. Doesn't she sound so manly?
Yeah, she's something all right.
But yeah, I do think that they should probably go to Raw because the Raw tag team division really needs something.
But they had the B
But
team.
at the same time,
Rude and
no,
Gable.
we're not. No, no. But
not
I
even
do,
real
I
tag
do think
teams.
that they should have stayed maybe for another year. I feel like they could have done another year in NXT.
But they've
before-
been in there for a couple of years
They
already.
have
But they
been,
haven't
I feel like
accomplished
they
anything.
haven't done much.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying maybe another year.
Well, so did Elias. He didn't really do much, and he was there for a couple of years. Same with Tyler Breeze. And, one of
Enzo
them
and Cass
is...
never won a championship before they were called up.
And now they're future endeavored. Let's not talk
Tyler
about-
Breeze is actually he went back in NXT. Isn't he fighting Ricochet for the North American?
He already
No, he
fought
had
him.
the
Oh, he
match.
did it already.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
He
was a good
lost,
match.
but he
Yeah.
was...
But it was
of
really
course
good.
he's on the main roster. So
No.
He's Tyler Breeze. He doesn't win matches.
I want to bring this point up specifically for Jared because I feel like he had a wet dream this past week on SmackDown.
I did.
That.
Oh, when Sanity came back. Sanity. Freaking finally.
And then now that Nikki Cross is making her debut, I feel like you could be complete on the
Oh, it's
inside.
beautiful. Well, I just see Sandy beating down everyone. I'm just like, yes, more. Keep going. Don't stop. Beat them
one
down.
episode of SmackDown is just all insanity. Just basically just interrupting every match.
Yeah, every match.
Just a
Beating
complete-
everyone down
complete-
consistently.
A complete beat down of the whole roster. And then
I'm just
going
gonna
to
wait a year and a half till the Bludgeon Brothers are finally healthy to come back.
I just want the Wyatt family to make a turn on SmackDown,
I
and
just
then
want
we see
Bray Wyatt
Sister
to be
Abigail
used.
properly take on Nikki
So
Cross.
Bray Wyatt in a wig.
Yes,
I want Bray Wyatt to be used. Just use him.
yes.
Use them well. Don't just use them. Use them well.
Because
This
of
is
course
starting to
it's
sound like our
TLC.
2019
Because-
hopes and dreams.
Well, CJ, you said you wanted
Here
to
lies
Brian
Marks
heel
for Life,
turn.
hopes and dreams.
Well, I predicted correctly what they were going to do with Braun Strowman at TLC, so you can suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
they
got
did.
one right out of your 100 guesses. Way to go. Eventually, you got to get something.
And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this out to Jimmy,
Yes,
because
go
I
on.
know Jimmy. He was pretty upset on this past week of SmackDown. So what do you think they're gonna do with Paige, my guy?
I don't know. I'm actually generally upset by it.
Have her manager Xavier Woods.
Keep that out of your mouth.
It's already
She
done.
didn't.
She didn't.
No, she did not.
Oh my god.
That was open for business.
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna keep her
Take all
on television for that much longer.
Literally.
I don't know if they're gonna keep her on television for that much longer. If she doesn't have a real role anymore on SmackDown.
Maybe she could manage. She could manage. Now, Lars Sullivan.
I mean,
is the manager.
the only thing I can really think of is the reason why they're doing that is maybe she's like, okay, now that my fulfillment for SmackDown's kind of done, I'm gonna try to do what Daniel did and maybe try to get better, actually get back in ring shape.
I could see
maybe.
that, 'cause
Like,
they-
I don't know.
She could be a really good manager, I think.
Yeah.
She could. I mean, she could go back to doing the thing with Absolution.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the
Right,
only
they
thing
still
that she
need help.
Considering, Mandy Rose has been saying for months, you never give us opportunities if we were your girls. And now they're just going to go back to that.
You never gave us opportunities when you were in charge. I don't fucking know. I tried to do the high voice thing,
Yeah, just
it
stop.
doesn't work.
just
I
stop.
felt my hair stand on end there.
All right, so let's get into the Markies.
Woo.
I
Do
don't
you
think
wanna-
there's really anything else.
I am ecstatic.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only other thing I want to bring up is the triple threat main event. I mean, what were your guys' thoughts on that match?
Triple threat main
The
event.
TLC match.
For TLC.
Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
The main
Oh.
event of the pay-per-view.
match.
All right,
TLC.
so
Some fan you
Jimmy was
are.
the
There was
only one that
tables,
was right
ladders, and
about
chairs.
this, and I think we all forgot that Ronda Rousey was a thing during that match.
Oh, I didn't think she was.
I forgot.
I forgot that Ronda Rousey was a part
I
of that
think
match.
when you
I didn't.
picked Asuka, I don't think you thought. she
No,
was gonna
not
get
Ronda
involved.
Rousey.
No, but like if we thought
But this
about
makes
it, like
it the story
Ronda,
better.
Oh yeah.
I still didn't think it. Like I didn't see
remember
it.
watching
at
that
all.
match going, wow, this is really good. Wait a minute, here comes Ronda.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh shit, we forgot Ronda was a thing.
The second her music hit, I'm like, good job, Asuka. You won.
Well, Asuka's champion.
And
I
when
didn't even think that Ronda was going to get involved. I thought it was going to be Nia because if you remember.
oh yeah,
earlier,
because
Yeah,
Becky
knocked her
smashed
out.
not.
Could have done that.
She
I
did.
thought it was going to be Nia.
Nia deserved it.
No,
Nia
she
deserved
said
it.
no,
like,
she's
I'm the
still
baddest bitch
she's still
on the
lying
planet,
on
and
the parking
payback's a
lot
bitch.
ground.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It
Keep
took,
your name out of keep my name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
it took 11 months after Asuka winning the Royal Rumble, but she finally won the SmackDown Women's Championship.
And then she fought Naomi. Yay.
Just a dead silence on this
yeah.
podcast.
We're like, yay.
So where does Asuka go from here? I guess that's the big question because
Well, I'm expecting eventually. I feel like Charlotte and Becky are probably going to jump ship. And
Yes.
that's going to be the triple threat for Raw, and it's just going to be Asuka's division to have.
yeah, but
Who would be-
who
who
is
would be
going to
next?
verse her? Yeah.
That's
I
the
would say-
big
Not
thing.
saying-
Who's-
Yeah,
It's
that's why.
good. I'm just saying it's gonna happen.
That's why I don't think it's the triple threat. I think it's going to be Becky and Ronda, and it's going to be a rematch between Asuka and
Nah, I think
I could see
The way
Sh-
they've been booking it, it seems like it's going to be Ronda, Becky.
like
and then Charlotte, Asuka. I could see that.
I feel like because of what they did at TLC, how they screwed both, and literally
Yeah.
both of them are like, we want Ronda. I feel like the way they're booking it, they are barreling towards.
Unless
the
if they
triple threat.
do. Yeah, that's the only thing. Unless Ronda goes to SmackDown after losing the Raw Women's Championship to Becky, and then they have that feud over on SmackDown, and that could be the leading feud going into the Fox deal.
But see, you're not gonna do. You'll do that during the summer.
Yeah,
it
I
sounds
know.
like you're doing it like a WrestleMania.
Well, I mean,
That sounds like a WrestleMania.
It just seems like Ronda wouldn't have screwed both if they weren't going straight for a triple threat. Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, they both have a gripe. Literally, they're both talking about. Like even Vince McMahon said this week, like if there's someone to be pissed about, be pissed with Ronda. Take it out on Ronda. Both of them. Like they're going straight for it.
Then,
That's
then
what
let
it
me
seems
throw
like.
this out here to the co-champs. Asuka, who would be the most logical challenger going into WrestleMania?
multi-women's match.
Multi-women's
Yeah, so you
match?
just-
has
another
to be
multi-women's
It
match.
had to be.
You just gotta
no
throw-
one-on-one match.
You're just gonna.
It has to be
You gotta
right
throw
now,
them all
the
in
way
there
SmackDown
because
looks.
there's really not one contender that's gonna distance herself from the back, unless you want to give
well, at
Naomi
that
another
point-
well, they
shot.
do have
Okay,
3
then-
months from Mania. I'm just
With
saying.
Mandy Rose.
What about anyone on Raw? Anyone on Raw could jump
yeah,
because
that's
if Becky and Charlotte are jumping ship,
Yeah, you could have like Sasha do it. Like
Sasha
jump.
could.
Sasha
We
could
never
jump.
really got that Sasha Asuka match that we could expect, and I feel like Sasha would need to change of pace. My also thoughts were Ember Moon.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ember Moon.
Then you got two faces. Like at least Sasha has like the heel tendencies.
That
where,
would
like,
be good,
you
yeah.
could,
Bayley?
You know, you could. No, that's just a
Bayley.
train wreck.
I'd be okay with Bailey.
It won't. I mean,
It wouldn't be
yeah,
in the
I
same
guess.
impact as Sasha,
The
but they would also have to
Hugger versus the
rebuild up
Empress?
Sasha. You know, that's another
Well, you
thing.
have Sasha winning the Royal Rumble, and then she
No.
challenges.
No,
the
Becky's
open-
gotta win.
But the open forum.
well,
But
no,
but if
Becky's
they're going to do the
defending-
triple threat,
Well, Becky is fighting Asuka at the Rumble. So
Okay, but it's not uncommon that
Yeah, for her to
that
lose
the
the
challenger
triple.
would, after
Either
losing,
Becky,
jump
either
into
Becky
the
or
Rumble.
Charlotte are winning the Rumble.
Yeah.
And then that's how
She's
one
just gonna
person
clock
gets in.
Nia
And then
again,
another
and take her
person's
number.
gonna do
Charlotte
something
or
else.
Becky winning the Rumble. It's going to be somebody new. Because if Becky or Charlotte were going to win, they would have won last year. That's what I
Charlotte
think.
was
Oh,
champion.
Charlotte was champion. Or
Becky
would've won.
wasn't as she was cooled off hard back early this past year. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
I feel like they're just this is where they're going. They are just barreling
Our
towards
thoughts
this
were-
for the women's
Yeah,
division.
I
One
think it's going to be. You don't
of-
need the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry. You don't need the Royal Rumble to build up the triple threat match.
But it's like
Because
how do
that's
you,
exactly where it's going to go.
How do you get both in though? Like without that Rumble,
You could do a
how
Lex
you get
Luger,
both?
Bret Hart type of
You can-
situation where they
yeah.
both get
That's what,
elimination.
that's what he was. But it's still though at the same time. That's what I'm saying. You're still using the Rumble to get them in. Like without at least one of them winning the Rumble.
I have
or
a better
something.
idea.
But they have to win.
I know
That's
Asuka's next challenger.
I'm horrified of what you're about to say.
Ruby Wright.
That's not a bad idea. I don't mind it.
You're gonna say
Oh,
China?
Page.
Stick with China.
The number 30 entrant into the Women's Royal Rumble.
Archer.
R-Truth.
Maybe
Asuka,
Jimmy
I'm
Jimmy-
coming for you. That would actually be good.
It's gonna
It would
happen.
devalue the
It's
SmackDown Women's
100%
Championship.
He's going to take out a chair. He's going to take out everybody with a chair.
Like it would totally devalue it.
No
but I would
headshots
love it.
anymore.
Yeah.
That would totally devalue the Women's Royal Rumble and Women's Division. But I would still love it.
It's gonna happen. It's 100% gonna
This
happen.
thing, it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, it's 100% gonna
He
happen.
starts eliminating people.
And he throws Nia out of the ring.
What?
Well, the women's match has to go on first. That way, when number 30 hits,
It's
R-Truth
I think the
comes out.
women's match is going to go first this year. I think they're going to do interchangeable this
Oh
year.
wait, and then number 30 for the men's, R-Truth is just chilling out. Carmelo goes, Truth, you're up. What?
What are you talking about? I
I'm in
just
the
went out
match.
already.
I'm in the match.
Eliminated 3 people in the last one. All right, if I have to.
R-Truth,
I already have a women's championship match with Asuka at WrestleMania. I'm playing with house money here.
you know,
I think he's still feuding with Carmelo a little bit.
R-Truth.
Well, they're both
is-
in Stanford right now on
R-Truth
vacation.
is-
So
would
yeah,
be on
that feud is
Vacation,
just building in the
Stanford-
cold.
Stamford, Connecticut.
R-Truth would be the first person to eliminate people in both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. Did
He'd be, he'd be the
Phoenix
first
No,
man
Beth
in the
Phoenix
women's
never
Royal Rumble
eliminated
match.
anyone. Natalia eliminated her before she could do anything.
Beth Phoenix this year. I'm calling it.
Oh, God.
R-Truth eliminates Beth Phoenix.
She'll try that kissing spot again. She did with the great Khali.
No.
Unless we get James Ellsworth to return and then
No,
Those are the final
no.
two entrants in the women's Royal Rumble right there.
Oh, wait, I've
James
Already
Ellsworth
people
and
have
R-Truth.
already seen enough of James Ellsworth.
No, it's that
Justin
bad.
Oh,
Bad.
I forgot.
Joe,
We
can you
can't make that
elaborate?
joke anymore. All right.
I'd rather not be a dick.
Just dudes.
Oh, and also
All right, let's.
the returns of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
That,
Sounds fun.
yes,
I'm
I am
surprised
surprised.
This is going to happen before WrestleMania. I thought Sami Zayn might be back before WrestleMania.
I think this is going to be Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush's feud going into WrestleMania would be that
I
tag
would
team
love that.
match. I would be, because Bobby Lashley
That sounds
injured,
like a-
quote unquote, both of them.
That sounds like a kickoff WrestleMania main event right there.
Or an
I would-
opening match. I feel like that could easily be an opener.
No, the opener's gonna have Seth Rollins in it. Just like the pre-show always has the Usos in it. It's just the accepted.
The
thing now,
Usos were on the
pay-per-views.
main card last WrestleMania.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
buried.
but
Yeah, they got
yeah.
buried in 3 minutes by the Bludgeon Brothers.
That was because
You always have to put
Sad-
them over
sad
and over and
times.
over.
they
So
need less
my
championships.
question is, when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn comes back, are they both going to be heels?
I think they should be faces. A face team. They need a strong face team on the Raw tag team division.
Yeah.
They need more.
You're-
faces.
you're thinking
They
real
should be
hard over
opposite.
there,
No,
Uncle Ernest.
I think Kevin Owens should be a face and Sami Zayn should be a heel.
See, like, I agree.
I think that's what it should be. It
I think
shouldn't.
that's what it
They
should
should
be.
not be a tag team. Bring up NXT people.
I'm not
Leave
saying
them alone because
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
saying-
they're better on their own than with a tag team.
Like I'm not
honestly.
saying a tag team wouldn't work. I just
Oh, yeah.
feel like Kevin Owens. I want him to be a face now. Like especially after
yeah.
what happened with last year, I think it'll be good.
Well,
and
Raw needs
Zayn
more
actually
faces.
put something on Twitter. He made like a heel type.
Oh yeah, he did a face heel tweet and it was great.
He started face but ended heel, so it was like I think he still has that heelish type. Thing. I
He
don't.
was
I don't
a really
want
good
Owens.
heel. He was.
Yeah.
He was a solid heel.
Kevin
Until
Owens
that
versus
Lashley
Sami
crap,
Zayn.
but that wasn't his
150.
fault.
I am okay with that.
Only now you're switching the dynamic. So that would be-
Yeah, that would be an interesting dynamic to see.
Anything else we want to go over before we get into our award show?
No, I think it's time to jump into it.
All right. So the categories for the second annual Marks for Life Markies are Male Wrestler of the Year, Female Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Championship of the Year, Match of the Year, Moment of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Overrated Star of the Year, Most Underrated Star of the Year, Pay-Per-View of the Year, and NXT Wrestler of the Year. Babyface Wrestler of the Year, Heel Wrestler of the Year, and the biggest letdown.
Yeah, so we had to cut this. This was really tough to cut down because last year we had 19
We had
to 20.
it cut down, and then we added more, so
We-
it negated me cutting things down.
Well, you cut it down to like 10. We had like almost 20 last year.
Yeah, because
You also had half
I
the
still have the
people.
list from last year.
So do I.
I had the list. I don't
I
remember where it
re-listened
went.
to last year's episode for that
list?
reason.
The list.
The list of Marco.
Dude.
19.
Leave the belt. Leave.
I'll take the belt, Joe. Get out of here.
Yeah, give it to Jared. We all know he's the one that's making the predictions. Woo! All right, so let's go. Let's do around the table. We'll start off with Jared. We're gonna go bottom up. Biggest letdown.
Nicholas. Nicholas. All of it.
You should see his eyes right now. They're like
All of it. Just dark, just big.
Yeah,
the
these
pupils
big
gone
eyes,
a couple
like,
big.
His eyes can be the Bludgeon Brothers. At
A
this point,
5-year-old
look how
girl winning
big
the
they
tag
are
team
right now.
title.
10-year-old boy.
10-year-old boy.
5-year-old girl. This poor kid is like.
You're gonna meet him.
What
one
are
day.
these
This
guys
guy-
harassing me
he's-
online for?
Yeah, I just won. I didn't choose this.
My
This is
dad's
just
a
something
referee.
fun. This is something fun for me. Nicholas.
I got to go to school the next day with the Raw Tag Team title.
Cannot
my
stress it enough. Next.
Melissa.
Okay. Well, at first I had the Ambrose heel turn, That was
yeah,
very much
that
let
was-
down. But I crossed that out and just decided, how about most of the NXT call-ups this year?
That's true. I'll give you that.
And keep in mind, I said most. Drew McIntyre is pretty much the only one
All
that
right.
survived.
Who were the
but
NXT call-ups then? I'm trying to remember.
Iconics, definitely one.
It depends how
I
far you
wait,
want to
I
go.
wrote it. I wrote
Oh,
it
you
down.
wrote it down.
Of course, I wrote it down. Come on now.
She's prepared.
I am prepared for this.
All right.
Okay. No Way Jose.
Oh yeah.
That
I
dead
forgot
on
he was on
that
the main
was
roster.
dead on arrival, though.
That was dead on arrival.
That was dead on arrival.
Sanity.
Ouch.
Well, wait
Jared.
until
That's
next
injuries,
year.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
I know. But
Okay,
still, this
Give it-
year-
I'll give him that.
Still
I'll give her
massive,
that.
just had to
They had, like,
change,
3
so
matches
maybe they're
this
gonna
year?
get a chance. That's fine. But Sanity, most of the year, what the hell have they been doing?
Fair.
The Iconics.
Fair.
Kind of dead on arrival, also though.
Yeah.
But they won in Australia.
They
Yeah,
did.
of course.
No, they
Yeah.
lost. They lost.
I know that they won.
No, they didn't.
No, they won it.
No, you're thinking of
Australia,
Buddy
they won.
Murphy. He
Buddy
won.
Murphy
Oh,
won.
Buddy Murphy
Buddy
won.
Oh yeah, right.
The other Australians.
Right, one Australian had to win.
Oh, he had a good NXT call-up.
Well, that's different.
Like
He went to 205
205
Live.
Live.
That doesn't really count.
And Triple H is still running 205 Live. So.
True.
All right.
Okay, you have Ember Moon, who unfortunately.
Fair.
If she had won
She's one of the
that,
better ones.
what was it, Battle Royal,
It's still
I think that would have
building.
made a difference.
It's
Yeah.
still,
But yeah,
it's
okay,
still
I'll agree with you
building.
that.
Like she's not losing a lot. She's,
But
she's
Like,
getting her.
she's on the move.
But I
She's
I
on the
haven't
move.
even seen her in a
She's on the
feud
moon.
yet.
Yeah.
She has
on
not
the
been
moon,
in a
yes.
feud.
The Ember hasn't been sparked yet.
no, I just got
You
nothing.
had nothing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got nothing.
See?
There was that sort of naive. It's not a feud
Yeah.
though.
It
She,
was-
she hasn't even been on a pay per view. Now that I think about it,
Money in the Bank.
Evolution.
Money in the Bank she was on there for.
Right, but she hasn't had a one-on-one match.
She is not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's-
because they haven't been building any other ones except
Yeah.
Ronda.
Ronda,
Becky.
Ronda, Ronda, Ronda.
Yeah.
Ronda.
And Alexa from
She
Rookie
had
of
a
the
great
Year.
NXT call-up.
Right. She didn't even have to go to NXT.
Sorry, Andrade Cien Almas.
He's okay.
He had,
He's
he had,
okay,
a,
but
he, had a,
again-
he had a good beginning,
Good
and then it
beginning.
just died.
Listen,
And then
Right, and
you
now he's
start
back
off
again.
with Sin Cara and you win. That's fine. But then you have matches with great matches, by the way, with AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Rey
Daniel
Mysterio,
Bryan.
Daniel
Bryan.
Bryan, but you lose them all. There's only so many
Yeah.
times you can look good in defeat.
And then you
It's
feud
like-
with Rusev.
He's got to start
and that's
getting
just
into
the
a
death
feud.
You
knell
gotta
right
just
there.
have to
winning
start
a
getting
few-
wins.
you know,
Sin
right.
Cara, I'm sorry, you don't really count much for me. Sorry.
That's fair. He
I'm
is the
sorry.
second
That
one.
hurts, but yeah.
and
no.
then,
He's gonna go kick our ass now.
yeah. bro.
He really can.
And listen.
This one can. The last one would just slip on everything.
What was the last one?
And then the last
Oh yeah,
one,
Mystico.
AOP. AOP.
Oh, yeah,
That
that
was
one's the most
pretty-
disappointing
That's
one.
the coup de Gracie.
That's a kick in the old sack.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
So there you go.
I feel like
the
we're
list
missing
right
more
there.
NXT call-ups,
Well,
and
because
that's the
it's
bad
I
just
don't
part.
think there were that
You
many.
could think about Shinsuke. You can go all the way back to Shinsuke.
No, Shinsuke was last
2017.
year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it,
The
this is
revival
this
was
year.
last year.
Revival, Bobby Roode.
There's
But,
so
I
it,
mean,
but
yeah,
it's been a,
there's
it's
so
been a
much.
growing
I
trend
love
that
Bobby
with
Roode, but come
with
on.
NXT call-ups, they just haven't done well on the main roster ever since we'll say what, the Shield, Bobby Roode. There's not really like many NXT call-ups
Oh.
that came up and actually have done well.
Kevin
on the
Owens
main
and
call-ups.
Sami Zayn.
You
Not-
guys forgot about Hideo Itami. He was technically an NXT call-up.
I don't even
Who
know.
was?
But same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with
205
Buddy Murphy
Live.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leo Rush.
Well, he's working.
He's a hype
That's,
man.
that's actually. I mean, he's
Actually,
doing better
yeah,
He's,
than
done a lot-
most.
he's doing a lot better.
He's doing
than some
better
of
as
the
a
other
hype man than
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a
Better for
wrestler.
AOP.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean.
So who's the only successful NXT call-up this year
Drew
again?
McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't even
but
really
that-
call that a call-up. It's more of like a return. for me.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
more of a.
even know.
That's actually really good. That NXT call-ups.
It's just. Yeah.
Tyler Breeze went back. Sasha Banks wanted to go back.
She
Revival
took a
went back.
hiatus.
It's at the point where if you're not like big and muscly, like just stay in NXT. Just stay down. Just, like,
Keep
just-
Aleister
just-
Black in NXT, please. I like him.
Keep
too
them all
much.
down there.
He can
Ciampa,
keep 'em all.
Gargano. I don't want any of them getting called out.
Yeah.
What's also but it's you're looking at with NXT, it's a hardcore wrestling fans like haven there. That's the one that they have. And then you go to WWE, you have to appeal to a broader audience. This is much bigger than just wrestling itself. With the NXT call-ups, they just don't know what they want to do with them.
Yeah.
As example, the Vaudevillains. I love that tag team.
I miss them.
love them.
I love
But
their
then
feud
when
with
they-
Lucha Dragons.
Yeah, and Lucha Dragons as well. Like they
How about
were
Lucha
so
House Party?
good, but like no, they didn't know what to do with them because like, all right, how do you brand this to kids? How do you brand this to families? It's such a different. When you go into the main roster, it is such a different dynamic. It's
Yeah.
all really about business. When NXT was all about wrestling, that's why NXT call-ups.
But even
like, you
NXT
look at-
could appeal to the casual fan base because it's such simple storylines. It's not convoluted like I'm gonna fight you because you have diseases and our brother had leukemia. You know that's so complex and stupid.
Do we have to keep dwelling on that?
That's why I had Ambrose heel turn before I changed it.
All right, so Jimmy, what do you got?
What's your biggest letdown?
Letdown? God. I think it's
also
2018 in general.
Yeah,
That's what it
2018.
sounds like.
It's just, I love him, but it's Rusev. It has to be Rusev.
That's fair.
Last year we had him as the most underrated, which he was at the time,
Yeah.
and I still hold that to.
Is he even rated now?
Let's
lucky to get into a mixed match
have a
challenge,
nice
so-
little timeline going on. What's going on
Actually,
in 2018?
Wait.
Oh,
let's bring this up really quick though, just so this way you could feel. Rusev does have a United States Championship match next week.
And it was a taping, so you could figure
a
out
taping,
if you.
but
I don't
That's
know.
it.
I don't know if you guys want spoilers.
I'm not
I don't.
saying
No?
spoilers.
No, I don't want to know.
No, let's not do.
CJ
don't
already
wanna
did
know.
that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he.
Last week,
Yeah, the NXT.
yeah, Gargano Ciampa. All right. So
Anyway,
let's go through his 2018 review of Rusev.
Let's see. He had a feud with Aiden English
He did.
again about Lana being promiscuous in the
But he
relationship.
won.
He did win.
Why?
It was a 4-minute match on SmackDown. but he
no,
won.
why have that to begin with? It was terrible.
Over.
They're
They
trying
literally-
it again. They're trying the whole Dolph Ziggler thing again.
They literally just sprinkled just a little salt just to give it a little different taste to that whole thing. That's literally all they did. No significant any wins. He had one amazing championship opportunity against AJ Styles.
He also had a match
Which
against Shinsuke earlier. In the
Yes,
year,
but
too.
that's I will get to that in a second. That could have gone either way, but
Take it easy.
it's not like insanity.
I'm trying to calm myself. I'm good. But it ended with Styles winning over, which I think at the end of the day was the correct thing to do. But then don't dangle like the fruit and then take it away if you're gonna do that. Like it's kind of similar to what we had a debate about this for the cruiserweight like last year or something like that when they gave it to Akira Tozawa and then back to Neville, and it was like, why do that?
I had a lot of problems with last year's championship changes.
Yeah,
All linking into SummerSlam. But you can
let's
check
not-
out that episode.
Yeah, just you can go back into archives and take that. But mine is just Rusev. I love him, and I still hope the best. And I think that 2019 might be better.
Can't be worse.
It can't be.
really
it can't be
cannot
worse.
be worse.
I swear, if it gets worse, it'll be like, no, I'm done.
You know, this time Aiden English is going to win the feud.
Oh man.
He'll lose a feud to Kurt
I will say
Hawkins.
this.
Yeah.
I will say this. The Rusev Day thing is great, and it still is great. His I guess promo. I guess you could say his last promo about
Two
chess-
Taco Supremes.
exactly was probably the highlight of the year. I mean, I don't know.
That's a shame.
It is a shame because I mean, name me another promo he did that was anything entertaining.
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Um,
But so
on-
I gotta give it to
during
Rusev.
like one of the mixed match challenges.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
when he came out when he said Lana's the
yeah,
best.
but he didn't
Lana's
win
number
that
one.
though.
those
Nobody watches.
vignettes
Doesn't
were
matter.
great
No one
He
though.
would have gotten the number 30
but it
spot.
was
It would have made.
amazing.
If you watch his
Get me angry,
vignettes,
Uncle Ernest. God.
it was really good with his vignettes because back at the time, Aiden English was still a thing with them, and they were all hyping up Lana, and it was just hilarious. It was.
How can you not be entertained by that?
It's entertaining, but it's just it doesn't yield any good things for
All right,
Rusev. Like, I
CJ, what's your
expect better.
biggest letdown?
Yeah,
Just-
we'll go with that.
Gotta
Just-
move on.
Just a quick side note, because we brought up Rusev. We actually had something last year where Uncle Ernest brought up Rusev. He's like, I want to see more Rusev Day T-shirts. We did not get that, but we got.
I got the same one though. I got the same one.
But we have we got a calendar, and Uncle Ernest has it in his room, and every
I
day.
mean, I have a Rusev Day shirt, and
And I have a Bulgarian flag.
I can't believe you
Jesus.
brought the flag.
There's the eyes. There's the eyes again. There's the eyes.
The international incident is upon us. That would be Jimmy's gimmick.
All right, so biggest letdown.
I love it. That's why.
yeah,
It's
Christmas
great.
present, not from me.
Oh, it was great though. I
Biggest
love it.
letdown. Oh, happy Hanukkah, Jared.
And-
Biggest
well, thank
letdown.
you.
Like 3 weeks ago, but
Yeah, biggest letdown for me. Biggest letdown.
Braun?
Braun. How many championship matches? How many opportunities? How many start pushes?
how many awful heels are?
How many awful one?
One.
It was
One
bad
was
enough.
too much.
It was bad enough.
You start off the year by breaking sets, breaking bodies, breaking bones,
Using grappling
winning
hooks.
the Raw Tag Team Championships, and letting me win the March for Life Podcast Predictions Championship with a 10-year-old
guys,
named
there's guys.
Nicholas. And you vacate it.
Fucking Nicholas.
You interrupt the second battle royal, but you don't win. You have this stupid Dogs of War thing. You lose to Brock Lesnar like 5 times. One of them was because you got hit in the back of the head with a fucking championship. Meanwhile,
That
you
tape
survived
is
an
taking a beating
ambulance
right now.
crash. like attempted vehicular manslaughter with like a 5-ton vehicle
And a trash compactor.
and a trash compactor.
CJ's
Yeah,
very
he's
upset
getting
right now.
emotional.
The thing is, though, I feel like there's been worse though. Like he has had there's a lot of positives to take away from him.
Oh, hands down, yeah.
So
hands
it's
down.
like I would not. I can't consider him the biggest letdown.
Not the
there's
biggest,
worse.
no.
He's
It was
the
definitely a
biggest
let-
disappointment because he could have
Nah,
Univer-
there's worse. There's
crown
worse.
fucking jewel.
Well, that pay-per-view is
Joe,
in and of itself.
crown jewel.
Let's not do this
The
again.
entire pay-per-view was a letdown, so we're not.
Oh, you mean
Joe.
the glorified house show? That's what
I'm
it was,
triggering
yeah.
Joe to get him on my side. Crown jewel.
CJ, stop poking the bear. Don't poke the bear.
Let's not start this again.
1F5. No, 5F5.
Five.
5F5. A championship to the back of the head.
But it was one
think it
F5
was-
inside Hell in a Cell when him and Roman were down for the table spot. And he F5 both of them and he walked out. And he broke the door of the Hell in a Cell. He's not Kane. Don't start with me.
Okay, everyone's getting upset right now.
I'm really getting red right now.
Hey,
Oh
Brock,
my-
Cormier's waiting for you, bitch.
Whoa, easy.
We're losing him.
Uncle Ernest, what's your face like that?
so much of a chance.
Oh, it's Uncle Ernest's chance. Relax. It's okay. Bud. It's okay. Go on, Uncle Ernest.
Wow. I don't know if I can follow any of that.
That one was intense.
My biggest letdown was Raw 25.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
With the
much
letdown
better.
being there live.
Yeah, somebody was. Yeah, two
Yeah,
people.
We were here
We
live.
were there
We were-
live. It was
Yeah,
a
and
huge
I know
letdown.
that when I saw the show, I was like, oh, I feel bad for those two right there.
Everyone on this
At least
show
we didn't
has
go to
said
Manhattan
that.
Center. That one I heard was a
Yeah,
lot
that was
worse.
good.
But
it was so disappointing.
Brooklyn was terrible.
Like Raw 25 years. Name me another show that's been on for that long.
Simpsons.
And
Family Guy.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
it feels
Family
like-
Guy's getting there.
Like,
Family
other
Guy's
than
getting
like
there.
a game show, because Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Price is Right, they've all been on for that long. But something like episodic and with storylines as Raw.
SmackDown.
We're getting there, but like in 25 years, I feel like it should have been such a bigger celebration. It should have been much bigger than it actually.
They should have
was.
done the show at MSG. That's what they should
Yeah,
have done.
one, and then number two, they should have done that show right after the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Do the Royal Rumble, then you do Raw 25 the next night.
Because
That's
they-
a- that's
they
the
had to
debate that we had, I
progress
think, on the show.
feuds while celebrating.
Exactly.
and it was such a.
They shouldn't have done that. That's the
Or they
thing.
should have done it the week before the Rumble. Like, not the week
they
before.
did.
They did do the week before the Rumble.
No,
We were there.
another week before. Another week prior. So, like, 2 weeks before the Rumble, they probably should have had it.
They just shouldn't have done it so close together.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Whether it was a little before or a little after, they just should have
Because
done
25
it so
years was beginning of January, right? That's when. That's what,
January 11th, 93 is when it started.
so they probably should have had it more close to that time than
Like,
closer
if
to
you're
the
gonna do
Rumble.
like Raw 25, then it should have been, like I said, it should have been a much bigger show.
It
This
probably
actually
should have been
should be.
after.
Yeah, do it after
Yeah.
the Royal
It should have
Rumble.
been
Do it the
after the
day afterwards. Who cares if it's a go home?
This is the one
go
time
show.
I'll say it needed to be longer than 3 hours.
Exactly.
It's the only time I'll ever say it.
Yeah,
And it needed to
was-
be a one venue. And I think
And-
that was a
that was
huge
the
train wreck.
See,
That-
if
those
you're gonna do
two
the
venues.
Manhattan Center, okay, do the Manhattan Center the weekend, like maybe the Sunday.
Yeah, do
or
like a
it,
special that's only going to be shown like through vignettes
Exactly,
or something like
yeah,
that.
like,
Don't have
you-
it like an actual TV taping.
Exactly, or else because it was too much to deal with Brooklyn Center with Barclays and with the Manhattan Center. It was just way too much to deal
And
with.
Look what
they
happened
didn't
at
they didn't
WrestleMania
think
2.
it through.
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
exactly,
they
yeah.
didn't think it
like
through.
I understood why they did it. They did it for the nostalgia value. Hey, it's 25 years, but it was such a big letdown.
It was
I mean, the only good thing about it was probably the opening of the show with Austin stunning.
That was
Weekend.
cool.
That
I mean, that
a
was
really
the
good
only.
part.
I never saw it live, so it was
When-
pretty.
when that
but
happened,
so
I was
you-
like,
you're gonna
okay,
get that,
maybe
you're
this
gonna
will be
get the
good.
stars no matter what.
And
Yeah,
well,
I
we-
know,
Raw
but
25,
for watching it for the
That's
first
true.
time ever.
And we also got
Stone Cold
Roman
is
Reigns
pretty cool.
versus Miz Intercontinental Championship, which is a fantastic match.
Yeah.
And it was red hot crowd for the Miz, you know.
Well, of
and it was-
course.
but it was great. It was a great red hot crowd. So it's that old lady again.
All right, Joe, what's your
Stop
biggest
looking
letdown?
at her real darty. She'll come right in.
She's
Like, why are
asking
you
about
staring
us.
at
She's
me?
talking about us.
She's
She's
really
staring.
staring.
She is staring.
Like, what?
Yes.
Dude.
Hi.
Go away.
Stop
Can you-
staring,
can you
Joe.
turn
CJ,
around?
do not incite a conflict. I know you're good at that. So,
Fine.
all right, I'll be the one to say it. The WWE World Cup.
Oh, that was
Well,
a disappointment as soon as they announced it.
I didn't
That's the
expect
thing.
anything from it. So, you know.
But Shane
Right, it wasn't
McMahon
necessarily the letdown
winning.
because I didn't have any.
Well,
high
hold up.
hopes.
Let's begin this for a second. Every single competitor except for I think one or two were from the U.S. So how much of a World Cup was that?
It was not a World Cup.
Exactly.
You had no Shinsuke
So
Nakamura,
No,
already
Shinsuke
it was
wasn't in
already-
it.
no Rusev,
Wasn't
no
in it.
Drew McIntyre.
Wasn't in it, yeah.
So, I mean,
It actually is funny that I was expecting so little, and it still didn't even meet what I thought.
It disappointed me when I thought nothing of it going in.
Yeah, right.
And
Like,
then
I'm just
it
like,
ended
okay,
being
have the
something
Miz
completely
win
different.
and whatever. And I'm just like, why is Shane getting in the ring? Come on, Dolph, please win. Oh my god.
I think Ray was the closest thing to an international
Even though
star.
he's from California.
No,
Or Florida or where?
No, he's from I think San Diego. Or like
Yes.
that
Well, that's where
area,
he's billed
California.
from.
no, he's from San Diego. Yeah,
No Finn Balor.
no Balor.
It was bad.
all the best wrestlers had like title fights. Like AJ Styles couldn't be in it because I think he was.
But he's
fighting Samoa
American.
Joe. But
see,
still, though, he's one
Samoa
of the best
Joe
wrestlers
should have been in the
world.
cup instead of Jeff Hardy.
There should have been a lot of things. Should have been. That pay-per-view
The
shouldn't
World
have
Cup's a
happened.
good idea, but do it down in NXT. Don't do it on the main roster.
NXT would have really hit it out of the ballpark.
Or do
NXT
an
hits
NXT
everything
would've
out of the
been-
ballpark.
Yeah.
Do an actual standalone
Yeah.
network special for it.
Yeah,
Yes.
kind of like if you're gonna do that, then might as well just do King of the Ring.
Exactly.
Yes.
So.
So we all had different.
All right, so
Yeah,
I'll
we
run
don't-
down the list and we'll take a vote. So we have currently Nicholas, most of the NXT call-ups, Rusev, Braun Strowman, Raw 25, and the World Cup.
Okay, so let's knock out a couple that.
I
We're
feel
not
like-
not Nicholas is going out. I'm sorry. I loved
I would
Nicholas,
not-
so I don't know what you're talking about. That's a
I feel
personal
like
issue.
Raw 25 is probably the biggest.
I'm
letdown
gonna
out of
throw
all
my
of
hat
those.
to the NXT call-ups.
Yeah, I know the call-ups
That's what
are
I was
pretty
gonna
big.
agree.
I'm gonna throw my
Sorry,
hat
the
to
World
that.
Cup was a good point, but
But
it
we
was
all-
already a
we all
letdown to
expected
begin
but see,
with.
the thing
not
is,
go
like,
well.
the
adding
NXT
Shane to
okay,
the
hold-
mix didn't help.
Here's the thing with all of this is that like a lot of us picked moments. CJ and Alyssa was basically like all year long. That was there's the difference there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Braun Strowman, like what I feel with him is that it's a slow push, and it's always been a slow push with Braun Strowman.
Well, they should have
'Cause he's
ripped the Band-Aid several months ago when he faced
Yeah,
Brock
they
Lesnar.
should
That's
have
what they
done
should
that,
have done,
yeah.
but
He
they
should have
have
had the
to-
title by now. Of
No,
course.
he
definitely
should.
should have a title. Like he has a title, so it's better than he had the year before, where it's like he had nothing.
Right.
He had a title.
Right.
NXT call-ups, they got nothing out
Yeah.
of the deal. Nothing.
Except Drew
AOP
McIntyre.
got a.
They got a Raw
AOPP.
Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, but they got
They
it
got-
because
but then they ended
Can't
up
believe I
with
just said
a
that.
manager that pees on himself, and
Yeah.
then AOPP.
I was
happens.
all
So-
for
they
Drake
need that to have
Maverick at
somebody fill in
first.
for Survivor
He's
Series.
still
That's
the-
the only reason why they won that match.
He's still
they
the
needed
GM
a tag team for Survivor Series.
of 205 Live. Let's not overlook that. He's still an authority figure on 205
That's
Live.
what's so
and he's
disgusting.
pissing himself
is that
on Raw.
Apparently, AOP can't win a match clean. Why
Yeah.
can't they win a match? I don't. Yeah.
It's Bobby
supposed to
Roode
be
and
these
Chad
big
Gable.
old badass monsters. You're supposed to be afraid of them.
Right,
But
and
they
they
have
need
a little
distract.
tiny manager.
Right. They need distractions to win. So
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Distractions.
All right.
in the form of-
So we're
It
going with
goes back
NXT
to-
call.
We're gonna go with most of the NXT call-ups. Save Drew McIntyre.
Congratulations, NXT. You stink when you're in the main.
Stay down.
Wait, can we start calling Roode and Gable Canadian Alpha?
Yo,
Please.
that would have. That's a.
I just thought of that.
That is much better than what Glorious Gable.
Something like that.
GG. That's what they are. The
GG.
GG.
Oh jeez.
Canadian Alpha.
Canadian Alpha. Finally, something actually good from that tag team. All right.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start off with Alyssa.
Well, it's rookie and signing of the year.
I had heel of the year.
Yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
heel of the year.
Third-
No,
Okay.
we can do rookie signing of the year.
Oh, that's easy.
All right. So let's all go around the room and we can all spell out her name.
Or
Yeah.
Oh.
And
D.
A.
R.
First of all, it's RHONDA ROUSEY.
There's no H.
there's no
So
H.
wait,
I could have sworn there's an H in there.
not an
Nope,
H.
you're swearing to the wrong
All right. So
spot.
we're all agreeing. Ronda Rousey, biggest signing. Let's talk about her year in
it is.
general. Like, fantastic year for a rookie, in my personal
Outstanding.
well,
opinion.
debuted post Royal Rumble match of 2018
You
for
want
the
to
women.
talk? Let's talk about that, Uncle Ernest. How was that?
I'll talk about that later.
Okay. Then it goes on to having a WrestleMania match with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H versus her and Kurt Angle.
Which was
It
fantastic.
was one of the better matches of WrestleMania.
There's a meme of her beating the crap out of Triple H. It's great.
It's fantastic.
I think
It
I've
was
shared
trending
with
all that
almost
night.
everyone at this table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
it was
It's,
great.
it's one of the best things ever.
That was one of the best matches on that show.
Yeah.
It was.
It might
was
have
a
been the
shock.
best.
We
It
didn't
was a
we didn't
bad
expect
card.
it to be that good, but it
We
turned
didn't
out to be
expect the
really
rest
good.
of WrestleMania to be that bad.
That's fair. And then you also have to look at her championship clashes with Nia Jax and Money in the Bank, Alexa Bliss, SummerSlam, and subsequently Hell in a Cell. Her matches against Nikki Bella. Her matches against Nia Jax once again. Charlotte. You can see the steady progression in the star. And the fact that it's so visible, her rapid talent. That's all it is. It's just, she's just very keen to the game, and it's fantastic to watch.
She's adapting better, and she's a better part-time champion than Brock Lesnar.
Because she shows up on Raw and she does have matches on Raw.
She's
I don't
more
consider her
consistent.
part-time because she's there every
She
week.
is a full-time wrestler,
a full-time champion.
but even if you want to consider her part-time, they use part-time in a way that it's beneficial. Like she'll show up, but she won't have matches, so her matches will be more of an impact.
I really don't see her as part-time in the slightest.
Neither do I.
She'll have an open challenge on her. Like, she's completely full-time. She's there every week. I mean,
Every pay-per-view,
yeah, she's
house
doing it.
shows.
Yeah, she's there.
When we watched her
consistently.
live wrestle, that was a great experience.
Yeah.
We saw her
Yeah.
back
At
in
Evolution.
July, right?
Yeah,
July?
at MSG.
We saw her at Evolution this past
And we
October,
saw her at
which was
Evolution.
great, by the way.
Oh my God, just an excellent wrestler all around. And to be able to see the progression from when we saw her at MSG to when we saw her at Nassau, you could really see
crazy.
it was insane.
Yeah.
Should we just go into like probably her best match from this year then?
I mean, she's had a lot of. I mean,
Right?
They've all
Damn
been
good.
They've all been really good. I mean, maybe Ronda, Charlotte, but it's all been good. Ronda, Nikki was very good. They've all been good. She hasn't had a bad match.
And that's the crazy part, that she hasn't had even her matches with Alexa Bliss, who isn't the strongest ring worker. Character-wise, it was a fantastic storyline match.
Absolutely.
Just her sitting down, like,
Like, get in the ring.
yeah, come on. No, you can get a choke. Go ahead.
I mean, the only thing she needs
Wait,
to
what was that
still-
noise again?
the only thing she
Could
needs to
that
work
be,
on.
something on the board?
Can that we need to make our own bombs. We're just like,
Yeah, don't worry. This is the last one of the year, so we're gonna have like at least 2 weeks
a
of
bump fest.
Yes, exactly. Don't say it like that, but yes. Other than like her promo skills need to be, better. I mean,
When she's serious, though, it's a
I
great
think
promo
she
work.
has the acting chops to really do it. Like when she gets into the scowl, the famous Ronda scowl, like you'll know like, oh shit,
You're gonna die.
Like she did that at the end. What was that? Like
Every
that.
feud.
Well, yeah, but I was talking about like when what is it, Survivor Series, and all those SmackDown women beat up all the Raw women, and Becky came out bloodied at hell, and then Ronda was in the middle of the ring with that scowl. I was like, oh, she's about to get fucked up.
Yes.
Ronda's gonna go to prison.
All right. Now I kind of want. I wanted to circle this to Uncle Ernest because Uncle Ernest, you know what? He was there at her debut.
At the Rumble.
Yeah, look at
Wow.
that.
Yeah, I
That's
was there
why.
for it.
Because
Wow.
we were talking about it and we're like, oh, Ronda won't show up. Ronda might show up.
Yeah, we
He
talked.
was there.
It's deadly enough. We actually talked about it on last year's podcast about the award show. Forgot about that.
Well, it was okay when it happened. Okay, earlier in the show, we found out that the Women's Royal Rumble was going to be the main event, and I went with my friend Tim, and he said like, "Yo, Ronda has to show up. Like, why is the women's match on last?" That was the only logical logical explanation that we both had, and then we heard the theme song, and we both looked at each other. We're like, we don't know what's going on, and we didn't notice until I said, "Look at the ring, dude," and you saw her name there, and the place kind of like, you could see like the sense of what is going on, and then when they realized what happened, it was just this huge pop.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, "Oh, it's true! It's all true!" So it was kind of a cool thing to see. The cool thing to know is like, "Yo, that is her right there." We didn't even realize it's like, wow, we didn't really like, yeah.
It was something probably akin to like AJ Styles when they were like, whose
Oh,
music
yeah,
is
exactly.
Yeah, I
this?
know.
And they're just
They
like,
just
very
cute a
equivalent to
Roman's
that, yeah.
confused face.
Who is that?
Like,
who's this guy?
See, it was cool to see it live, and then when I watched it back on the network, I was like, "Oh, I see why everybody didn't like it." Because it's like, they should have had it on like Ronda Rousey, like the whole screen came up, and you see like the Roddy Piper like thing coming out.
So wait, can we change biggest letdown to WWE camera angles?
No.
Honorable mention, though. Honorable mention.
Honorable mention their camera.
But I think
angles.
that's just overall. It's just
they have really a bad.
who's the production guy again? Is
Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn.
He's
done.
the most overrated.
He's totally overrated.
Got that big teeth. Keep leaning on buttons.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move on to the next one.
So we're doing what? Heel of the year?
Yeah.
You wanna do?
Heel of the year. Okay. Let's actually give you a pick because we all agreed with Ronda.
Yeah, so we'll start with the heel. Yes.
Wait, you want?
Yeah,
me to
let's-
start? Okay. Well, I chose Tommaso Ciampa.
Same.
I'm with you on that. I'm throwing the hat in.
Yeah,
I quite
Tommaso.
love him.
I'm not gonna lie, Becky had a real close thing, but at the same time,
She's
she's,
never
like
heel.
not
really
a true heel.
Yeah.
Tommaso is a
Tommaso's
true
just an
heel.
asshole.
And Tommaso's been a heel for the whole year.
Man, it was insane. Like I hated the bastard. Like just like at first I thought he
hated
would.
the
I thought he would cost Johnny the championship, which he did, but not when I thought. Like just busted him up with crutches, you know, pretty much stalking his wife, spitting on Johnny Gargano's ring. Like,
Did you guys have other picks? Just I know that.
yeah. Any
Tommaso
other
Ciampa-
picks before we go into Tommaso?
I had
Ciampa?
Baron Corbin.
Oh, fair. Okay, that's like a fair. I think that's a fair one, honestly.
That's
fair
why I
one.
was just like, yeah, I was like, all right, I didn't think of
Like
anybody
this
else,
whole
but you
span
must
between the beginning of like the really bad season of wrestling to now, like I understand that.
That name just like lets the air out of any room.
I agree with Ciampa, but I had the Miz. That's the
That
other.
was my other.
That's
That's
true.
the other
That was
one.
my
That's the
focus.
other one I had. So
Props to Samoa Joe too. He really.
Yeah, a couple honorable mentions.
and
coming
Alexa
up for them.
Bliss also. She's a good heel. But
I
think-
can't
think
talk now
Ciampa
because he
is the
said
winner.
Baron Corbin.
Did his job. We all hated him.
So
Yeah,
that,
He did his
exactly.
job, but like
I'd
that
say
was
he
his
did
But the
job.
problem is people would shut off the TVs.
so that's what happens when you want CJ to shut up. Just say Baron Corbin.
No, because I
and it just
had him as
ends it.
most underrated wrestler last year.
You did.
Yeah, no.
And then-
it was most improved.
Most improved. I had him
Yeah,
as
we
most
had-
Yeah,
improved.
most improved,
Because he
and
was
now
good,
it's
yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Anyways,
No, but I agree. I think Ciampa is
Oh,
because
yeah,
even the
definitely,
Miz
yeah.
like has some like face like tendencies sometimes.
No
And
one
Ciampa is
fucking
just
like
dirty.
he got. What didn't he fight with a grandma? Like he would actually try and fight grandmas at the.
Who Ciampa?
Yeah, look it up. He would. He was actually
I'm not gonna-
challenging.
I'm not gonna look that up.
No, he was challenging at NXT
CJ,
live
look it up.
events. All right,
All right, so babyface of the year.
Jim.
Yo,
Hold on.
I'm gonna go with Becky, because let's be honest, she was a babyface.
I'm gonna go with Becky too because she just
Let's
became
be
red
honest.
hot, Stone Cold
She-
style.
Yeah, she just came at it. That's a babyface. That's not a heel. As much as, you know, they want to keep pushing that towards that. She's a babyface.
I had
else
Becky
got-
too.
I
I
had
had Becky
Seth
too.
Rollins.
I had
Really?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
But now that you
Rollins.
said Becky Lynch, I kind of want to
Yeah,
go
same
with Becky Lynch.
here. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with I had AJ Styles.
I had AJ Styles.
Really?
Because I feel that with Becky, it really came on towards the end of the year. It wasn't really a year-round thing.
Yeah.
AJ Styles and Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
Well, she got the
it's
huge.
consistent,
Well, she got the
right?
natural push towards the end of the year, but she's been babyface the entire
She's
time.
been babyface, but I think up until her this push, she hasn't really made much of an
Like
impact.
AJ Styles ran the
Right.
SmackDown Live main
Yeah,
scene
so
for
I-
the
Yeah, that's a
entire-
good.
Yeah,
That's a
true,
good
yeah.
point.
I
Actually,
feel like AJ and Seth are your maybe two biggest stars of the company.
Oh, yeah,
really,
easily.
Yeah.
So, and
I-
yeah, I think you might have convinced me about AJ Styles. 'Cause That's a
yeah.
good point
So
right
we
there.
Went, we went,
I'm gonna stick with Becky though because with Becky,
Yeah, of course you'll stick with Becky.
no, because just the reaction from Becky, you know, post SummerSlam, that reaction was the biggest reaction, and she has because of that, she's consistently gotten the largest pops, which have overshadowed AJ Styles and Seth Rollins.
Sure. Oh, I'll
And-
agree with that.
and, you know,
Absolutely.
and like every time she would come out, people would like beg and plead for her to get that push,
Mm-hmm.
and like she would always come out to huge pops, but she would never get that recognition. Now she's getting even bigger pops and that recognition. So I'm gonna stick with Becky.
I think it goes back to what Uncle Ernest said, where it's like even though it's like Raw 25 was like a massive disappointment.
Yeah.
We're looking at the year round.
Year round.
it's like,
No, I
even
get
though
you.
Becky currently is the biggest thing going on right now. Looking year round, you got to think about a Styles
yeah,
or,
exactly.
or a Rollins.
Yeah. All
I
right.
kind of have to agree with you. So,
Okay. And all right. So what's the final verdict, guys?
So we're saying AJ.
well, yeah, there's three of us right now for AJ.
And then
AJ,
2 for Seth Rollins.
two for
And
Seth
then
So
one for
AJ.
Becky,
One for Becky? All right, so it's gonna be AJ.
AJ.
Yeah, but like
I'm
all
okay
of
with
those,
that.
in all honesty, you know,
Okay
we're-
with that.
they were great
Oh, yeah,
picks.
same
They
here,
were
yeah.
great picks. I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
of
there's
AJ.
nothing.
I've thought of Seth.
else did I
Well,
have
let's put this in perspective. AJ Styles now has at least a record of being the second longest reigning WWE champion in the modern era now, next to Punk.
Third.
Third? Who's the? Brock Lesnar doesn't. Get out of here with that
You saw
garbage.
the B.
No.
about to, like,
Actually
hit his-
fourth. Actually fourth because Pete Dunne is actually the longest
Well,
rating.
well-
and then But if we're
that's
I'm
World
talking about
Wise.
WWE Championship.
we're talking about World Championship.
No, we're talking about WWE. Also, that's a UK Championship, so that doesn't even qualify for the Worlds.
No, Universal counts for the World Championship.
No,
though.
Universe
That's
counts
what
for intergalactic
They're fighting
fighting that
within each
clearly
other.
Brock Lesnar's doing while
I
not
knew
being
it
on
happened
WWE
eventually.
television.
By the way, I found the article. Tommaso Ciampa reignites 5-month-old feud with NXT Grandma fan.
Yeah, he's definitely healed.
So this was the marquee that AJ Styles built. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Next one is the NXT Wrestler of the Year.
There's gonna be. I feel a lot of these.
Buddy, it's you.
I'm gonna throw it to Johnny.
That's mine.
Okay, so let me pause this for a second. Last year, he put him
yeah.
as the most overrated wrestler.
Oh, that's true. He
Can I
did, yeah.
explain this?
That was
He did.
funny, too.
So
That was-
at that time, Johnny Gargano, he was kind of in that rut. Like he was putting on great matches, and like his storytelling, it was good. But my thing was, I could never fully get behind Johnny because of Tommaso Ciampa. At the time, I was like, I love Tommaso better, and I still do. And I also enjoyed, and I feel like that without that Tommaso Ciampa conclusion, I could never fully get behind Gargano because I was just waiting for that, and everything else seemed second fiddle. Like I don't fully get it. But the fact that Tommaso Ciampa really brought out a side to Johnny that really, really showed how great Johnny was. And Johnny's feud with Andrade Cien Almas
Which literally happened like a couple weeks after we said that.
That I took it back. I took it back after I saw the match. Like, you know what? Johnny's great. I could see it. But his storytelling this year was phenomenal. His descent to madness. Also, I love the ring attire because he keeps referencing the Marvel characters. And he went from pure face, like Marvel characters and stuff like Captain America and stuff. And he slowly went into anti-heroes. And like that gray area where you're like, you know what? He's not a good guy, bad guy and stuff.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. Exactly.
I see you.
Punisher, Venom, like those are all anti-heroes that could go either way as heroes or villains, but it's always that gray, dark area. And Johnny Gargano is really walking that line where it's like, it's just beautiful storytelling. And, he just keeps upping it. This past week, we mentioned it last week on the podcast. Johnny Gargano won against Aleister Black in a steel cage match with the help of Tommaso Ciampa. He accepted that help. So it's just adding more layers to a character, and this is how you do storytelling. So I'm throwing it to Johnny as the NXT Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think the thing that separate when you look, I feel like Ciampa and Gargano are probably the two top ones. I mean, if there was a feud of the year award, I think that would probably be the feud of the year.
Definitely.
So, but I like you said, I think the thing that separates it is you look at Gargano's storytelling now and how he's just changing emotionally constantly. Yeah, he's having 5-star matches.
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
is
say
really,
he had 3 5-star matches this year.
I thought he had
thought it was
two.
two. Almas and
Ciampa.
Ciampa, and the second Ciampa one.
Oh, the second Ciampa one was also 5 stars?
Oh, then there's. Oh,
Yeah,
then maybe
that's
there
what I
is
was saying.
three. Oh,
There's
then
2
maybe there is three.
Ciampa ones. There's one.
I thought there was only one Ciampa.
Ciampa.
I thought it was one
I'm
Ciampa.
googling. I'm googling.
The unsanctioned match
Was definitely 5 stars.
that
Yeah,
was
Take
5
Over
stars.
New Orleans. That was 5
That was
stars.
5 stars, and then the one against Almas was 5 stars. I think that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the only other NXT match 5 stars.
The Vlad
What
match.
was, yeah, was
The North
Black?
No, no,
American-
no.
Was
There's
Black
another
5
one too.
stars?
No,
that-
Black was not 5
maybe
stars.
That was like 4.5 or something.
Yeah, but
Mustache Mountain.
Mustache Mountain too. So
Yeah.
there was like 4 NXT matches with 5 stars.
And Gargano, I think was
Gargano was 2 of them.
And the main roster had 0.
Yeah.
Well, that triple threat might
All right,
get it.
so there's
Really?
It did. It got 4.5.
Okay, so I have it. So there's the 5-1, which was Takeover New Orleans against Tommaso Ciampa, an unsanctioned match.
Yep.
And Sienna Almas for the NXT Championship. That was 5.
So there you go.
Yep. But everything else has been pretty consistent, though.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
been a
yeah.
consistent wrestler.
So is anyone
Anyone have
what do
anything?
you-
Any other ones?
I had Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, really?
Yeah.
I had him.
I-
I had him written down.
Yeah.
As one of
Yeah, I mean,
had
he won
Adam-
the North American Championship. I think he was the first one, no?
Inaugural,
He
yeah.
won the ladder
I
match.
think that he had it's also I've been a fan of him ever since the Rumble. Actually,
I remember that because
Yeah.
last year you didn't even know who he was.
exactly. Yeah. And then I
But fun
watched some of
fact,
his
he was
stuff,
the
and I
signing
really-
of the year last year.
Yeah. So I watched his stuff. And I'm like, oh, this guy's amazing. So I think I understand where you're coming from,
Yeah.
with Gargano, but I was like, all right, the first thing that popped into my head was Adam Cole.
Really? Okay.
really
Those are
like
the 3 big ones that I had written down was Ciampa, Gargano, and Cole. Those are
Yeah.
the 3 big ones.
So which one are you going with?
I'm
then?
going with Gargano. But
Gargano?
I had them written down.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Joe?
I'm actually gonna not pick anyone that Jared said. Also, I do want to give a shout out to Roman Reigns for Babyface of the Year, but I forgot to do that.
He got.
Trash.
I'm not even going to get into
Yeah,
it. But
don't
go on.
But my NXT rest of the year, I'm fine with the Gargano pick, but I'm kind of following Uncle Ernest's lead, and I'm taking Aleister Black.
Yeah.
He is been one of my favorites on NXT since he debuted. He
Yeah.
had a
Entrance
great,
of the year.
He had a great match with Johnny Gargano. He had a great match with Andrade Cien Almas. A great match with Adam Cole in the Extreme Rules match at Chicago too. He had a solid match with Lars Sullivan. So I would go. I'm fine with the Gargano pick, but I want to throw.
I
my hat in
think
the Aleister
I
Black
think
ring.
the argument against that, because you got to like split hairs with this type of stuff, is the injury that he.
Not only that, his
he had.
character too. Like his character is great, but it's very like it could be one dimensional at times too.
But even if you take that away, like say you love his character, I think the injury is also what put Gargano over the top. Because remember, Gargano and Ciampa kind of had to ad lib because it was supposed to be a triple threat, and then became the two.
But that
so
kinda-
I think that also separates it a little bit.
Yeah, because that also gives credit to Johnny making a story work out of such an unfortunate injury.
Yeah, Black is very good. I mean, Black's fantastic.
Fantastic
He is.
wrestler.
No, I'm
you know,
never gonna deny
great character and stuff, but like it can be one dimensional if not used properly.
that. Right, I see.
You
What
can be one dimensional.
got him.
Yeah, nailed it.
Alyssa?
Oh no, I had Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy.
All right, so it's yeah, I had Johnny as well.
Yeah, so Johnny.
Sorry, Uncle Ernest.
No, it's all good. It's all
Sorry.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think anyone. Yeah, it's gonna keep him up at night.
Yeah.
So the next up we have pay-per-view of the year, right?
Correct.
Yes.
All right, Uncle Ernest. What do you have for pay-per-view of the year?
Oh, the one that I went to live, the Royal Rumble. I think honestly, but even though
I
I
think
sense
going
some
to pay-per-views
bias in
live
this.
makes it better. So
Yeah.
like that's
one,
fair.
and then also, I don't think there was a bad match in that card. Maybe one.
Brock Lesnar, Kane,
Strowman.
Braun
That was
Strowman.
actually
Not Brock
really
Lesnar, Kane,
entertaining.
and
That was
Undertaker.
actually really good. I enjoyed that
have
match.
to
a
yeah,
lot.
but that
I'd have
build
to
up
go
on
back
Raw
and,
25
like,
Oh,
was
look at it.
terrible.
AJ Styles versus Cammy.
I loved it. I loved that match. It was such a. I was actually rooting for them. I was like, I want them to win. I want the situation that we have now.
Cammy.
I wanted that. But I thought the Royal Rumble had I thought it was a fantastic pay per view, and it's just been my pay per view all year long. So
Okay.
that's just me.
Joe?
I'm gonna go with the pay per view I just mentioned, NXT Takeover New Orleans.
That's my.
Is that a
had-
pay-per-view or a takeover?
Yeah, it counts as a
It's-
pay-per-view.
It does count
pay-per-view.
of it? Okay.
It counts as a pay-per-view.
You got 2 5-star matches on the same card. I mean,
Yep.
that alone sells it.
New
Baszler
Orleans, yeah.
Moon was a solid match,
Yeah.
and the triple threat tag team match was really good too. And it had the turn of Roderick Strong to join the Undisputed Era. I
Yeah,
mean,
that I completely agree with
And-
you. I
and
actually
it's
don't
Takeover
think
New
it's
Orleans.
close. I think this pay per view just blows everything out the water. I just think this. I mean, when you look at it, you had storytelling, 5-star matches, turn, you had everything in this one pay per view.
That's fair.
I mean, it's just that pay per view was ridiculous.
Alyssa?
I don't know. I kind of like theirs now.
What did you have
What did you
originally?
What I have originally, I had Evolution.
I have Evolution
Evolution
too.
as well.
I had
Kind of
Evolution.
similar to
I figured you
we
guys
were there
would.
live.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like
Yeah.
for me, I know Jimmy and I, we've been a really big proponent of women's wrestling for a while, and
I
you
think
know-
our first episode ever was about
yes,
women's
it was
wrestling.
about women's wrestling. We watched the Mae Young Classic, the inaugural one. We watched Glow. We were really we
I watched
loved
the
it.
second season of Glow.
I like
which is
Glow.
actually
Glow is
better.
very
Yeah,
good.
It's
some
actually better than the second.
some of our one of my favorite wrestlers of all time is Becky Lynch, and to be able to see her live in that capacity, and to be honest, it was a pay per view that many people never thought would happen.
Yeah.
No one thought it would happen, and everyone thought that if it would happen, it wouldn't be good. And to make the argument, there was no bad match on the card. Everything.
like,
There
I
were some
think-
some slow matches, and I think the placement of the matches were like the card structure of it was.
I thought the
I
card
could've been
structure was
tampered with.
fine.
What
But-
is it? The Trish Stratus.
I thought that was a good
Lita-
nostalgia match.
It
I
was-
thought it was
yeah.
good.
It's a good
That's what it was
so-
for. And I
Yeah.
think it would have been better should there not have been an injury on Alexa Bliss's part.
Oh, definitely.
But like that,
Still waiting on Stratus Bliss for WrestleMania.
that's gonna be great. Exactly. And it sets up stuff too. And it really did blow it out of the water. And Becky Lynch versus Charlotte was easily match of the year contender.
Like that should have closed. Like that's the thing though. Like that should have closed the show instead of.
Oh
Ronda.
yeah,
But
no, I agree. That's probably would be my only complaint. But Ronda still held her own in a singles match against Nikki.
With someone, and again, where we thought that match was not going to be good.
What do we think it would be? 7 minutes?
Yeah, we thought it would be 7
What was
minutes.
it, like
It doubled.
15
12,
minutes.
15. We posted
we
the thing
timed
about
it.
We timed
Yeah,
it.
I remember we talked.
And it was a great 15-minute match. And to be honest, to
Use the
watch
right
that,
Bella.
yeah,
Yes, it was the right
Correct
Bella.
yeah,
Botch
not
Bella.
concussion Bella,
Yeah, don't use
Botch
the other-
Brie.
don't use the
Botch
other
Brie.
Bella.
But I think just historically, and the way it delivered, it was easily, at least for me, it was the pay-per-view of the year.
It also felt like an NXT show watching it too.
Yeah.
Like I remember going to the very first Brooklyn one, and I had the same exact feelings. Like it felt just like It felt like an NXT show.
I think there's a good like parallel between the two, because when you look at NXT Takeover in New Orleans, you're looking at the matches themselves were better. But when you're looking at Evolution, you're looking at the historical significance and the magnitude
everything
of it and the importance of it. So was the in-ring stuff as good? No, but was it the importance of it was so much more.
Which will people remember more, Evolution or NXT Takeover?
Probably Evolution.
Yeah,
That's what
So
I did have Evolution on my finalists.
Yeah, I have Evolution.
I was thinking
I think there's a good
Takeover.
argument for both.
Yeah. So
I'm sticking with Takeover New Orleans.
All right, so takeover.
no, Takeover Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, sorry. Takeover, Evolution.
She was split.
Are you?
so-
What are you
No, she
deciding?
said Evolution.
Yeah, she was-
originally
She was
said-
going Evolution, but then she also heard Takeover. So
Right.
I liked yours, but I have down Evolution.
So you're going with Evolution?
go
we're gonna go with Evolution.
So
It's because
Evolution.
all right.
It might
I
be
can
because of
accept that
bias. You can say it.
I was-
because I'm a female. You
No, I was gonna say because you heard us actually
Say it,
defending it.
man.
It's like now there's gonna be a chance of it winning.
Well, it was
but, all
definitely
right.
biased throughout. He was at the Rumble. They were at Evolution.
But it was
I
also
wasn't.
Well,
I
going-
wasn't
go-
at Evolution.
going-
I'm just a.
But
freaking
I think
female, that's it.
going to one
I
of
didn't
these.
say anything.
Going to a show is
I'm
so
out.
much different.
Yeah, going to
I don't want to be a part of this argument.
going to the actual show though does make it a really big difference though.
Yeah, but I can definitely agree. Like if we had Takeover the year, NXT Takeover New Orleans would have had it, and like if Evolution didn't exist, I probably would have went to that.
Yeah.
But like for me, Evolution, it was just the culmination of everything that we've been asking for.
I also
for
think
years.
if it wasn't the first, I think that also has something to do
Yes.
with it. Like I said,
Again.
there's a lot of just that significance.
and they delivered. They
All right,
delivered on
absolutely
on the
delivered.
first.
A takeover next year is gonna have 3 5-star matches, and it's gonna be the second Evolution. I'm gonna hold you to it. We're like, hey,
No, that's fine. That's fine. And then I remember Uncle Ernest. He brought this up last year. He wanted to see women's because we had goals set for 2018. One of the ones he did bring up, he's like he wanted to see the evolution of women, and I laughed at that because like during when I listened
Then
to
I
it,
hit him.
no, I listened to it, and then I'm like, oh, I want to see the evolution of women's wrestling. I'm just like, yeah, they had a pay per view called Evolution. But I know we were talking about it. It was just great to, everything that we thought about the women's wrestling would come
Oh, yeah,
true.
it came true.
We had the Elimination Chamber, delivery and strong matches between the Royal Rumble, the Evolution pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber, the Money in the Bank match again. We had
They just had a gauntlet match. I mean,
a great
Yeah,
gauntlet
yes.
match. And I know. What are your thoughts on women's wrestling now that you wanted to see it? And
Oh, it's fantastic now. Fantastic.
are you
It's
happy with its care?
Definitely, hands down. Yeah, like of course there could be more, but I think you just build it up and you build it up, and it will
It's on a
eventually-
good track, and I think
Yeah.
and then we could talk about what we want to see in 2019, but that's going to be at towards the end of the podcast. The next one we have on the list is most underrated star of the year. Uncle Ernest. No, actually, Joe. Joe, your turn.
I considered a lot of people for this award. I considered Samoa Joe. I considered The Revival. I considered Bailey and Ember Moon. But in the end, it's a landslide. It's Finn Balor.
That's
It
mine.
is Finn Balor.
That's
And
mine.
Finn Balor.
Now I'm hearing rumors he might get a push now
Yeah,
because
that's
right.
Raw
Yes.
is so dead on babyface. But as far as 2018 goes, the man couldn't beat Jinder Mahal on an episode of Raw. I think that's really all I have to say. Finn Balor.
Well, Jinder Mahal was a world champion.
Get
And
out
he's
of this.
also,
Get
like,
out of this
the
ring.
He was also a
Great
longer.
Khali was a world champion too.
Yeah, but they both had longer reigns than Finn Balor.
Hence why this is the award for him.
Yeah, most underrated for sure, Finn Balor. And as soon as that Demon Paint comes on, it's great.
Yeah.
But he also had one of the most disappointing feuds of the year with Bray Wyatt.
That was last year.
That was last year.
This year was Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
This year
So-
was Baron,
Corbin
two
over
Bs,
and
both
over
really
and
bad.
over
Give
and over.
Finn a chance, 2K19.
Yeah, I mean, I echo your sentiments. There's nothing else to add. It's just
No.
Alyssa?
it's-
Nope,
Finn?
not had nothing.
Anyone else had some?
Yeah, Finn. Just,
I put Roman.
Wait, what?
underrated.
I will leave across this table.
No,
Underrated.
No, because
well,
like,
okay,
I'm
hold
gonna
on,
be
it's
honest here.
underrated, not overrated.
Everyone
It's a difference.
underrated. Like just like
Right,
no one
under?
really considered. Like no one liked him. No one wanted him. Like and no everyone would downplay him. His matches, his in-ring ability. There'd be so much like pushback.
Yeah.
And Joe, you are 1 in 3 that think that Roman Reigns is just good from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm saying.
But I think overall, like, he has a point.
Yeah, like Finn Balor.
I never disliked Roman. I just
You just
You say
never
that,
liked
you say that,
Roman.
you say
I
that
just
now.
don't like the booking.
No, I'm right. Right, exactly.
Back to earth, CJ. I was gonna murder you a second ago, but I'm cool. I'm
Like you
Yeah,
and like you.
I see the red
now
going
that
away.
he's
I
gone,
see your point.
you could really appreciate it, and like now that he is,
Raw's in shambles ever since he left.
exactly,
Yeah.
and like you can really appreciate what he brought to the table, and I didn't appreciate that, so I really did think that I gave him too much shit. He was really underrated. So I am gonna go with Roman Reigns, but I agree with you guys. Finn Balor was the most underrated.
I just want you to know I love all of this. You're not
Well, I told
defeating
you when we
my
went to
pro
MSG, I'm
Roman
like, I needed validation, and Undertaker shook Roman Reigns' hand. I'm like, there's my validation.
Yeah, so I think Finn wins, but I think
Yeah, Roman gets like the biggest.
and I think
honorable mention in that category.
Rusev should too, though. I think Rusev definitely gets an honorable mention here.
Definitely
Yeah.
can't be
He
overrated.
He definitely does.
He's definitely not overrated. That's
You
for
gotta.
sure.
I think Rusev and Roman are definitely two big honorable mentions for this.
Yes.
Most overrated.
Jared.
Jared?
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
pretty
a good one.
That's pretty good.
I don't know what else to say.
Oh, I have one that you'll hate.
I have one as well.
I don't know what else to do.
I have
You,
one.
you can skip me for this one because this is the one that I didn't really.
Oh,
have
okay,
one.
okay. So you're just gonna
But I'm gonna go with his.
Yeah.
until you hear something better, then you're like, yeah.
Until I hear something better, then I'll probably
Yeah.
change.
Bobby Lashley. I just
Ooh.
he's
I have him on there. I had him.
he's up he's up there. Like that Brock Lesnar one was a good point. It's like
I'm gonna go with a different B and a
Baron
different
Corbin.
Bobby.
Oh.
Bobby Roode. Overrated.
Yeah.
I actually had him as underrated.
Overrated.
I had him as
like,
one of the underrated ones.
I remember watching him in NXT, and I'm like, okay, he's good. And then you bring him to the main roster, I'm like, big fish in a small pond. That's how he was in NXT. That's how he was in TNA. Now that he's on the main roster, I'm like, what do you bring to the table? Like, even as a heel,
glorious.
I'm like, even as a heel,
he only
Miz
has the
can do-
theme song though.
No, that's the thing. He only has
That's
the
the
theme
glorious
song.
part of it
Everyone
all, so-
else can do his job, but better.
no,
like,
I think he's really good. I just think his booking has been
Well,
horrible.
like, what does he bring to the table? Let's be real here.
Well, I think he's got a good gimmick. I think he's very good in the ring.
What's
He's
his
got a good
gimmick?
Finisher.
Honestly,
He's
what's his
glorious.
gimmick?
He's glorious. That's his whole thing. He's glorious. He's above
But
everyone
that's
else.
Okay, but what is he-
That's like
probably
Shinsuke or Seth
they
Rollins.
should probably turn him heel. To be honest, he'd be better as a heel.
I think- but-
because he has this glorious.
Well, he was-
But I think EC3 could probably do it better. EC3 can do the Bobby Roode gimmick, but better. Miz can do a Bobby Roode gimmick, but better because of their in-ring abilities are better than Bobby Roode.
Okay, I disagree with you on the in-ring ability
Yeah, I
part
think
of it,
Rude's-
but
yeah. I see
the
what you're
gimmick-
saying about the gimmick. I
the
think if they
gimmick
turned
part
him
of it,
heel,
I think-
it would help. I think, but
He was
as
gonna
far as
turn
in the
heel.
ring,
But
he's
if
very
it's
good in the
but
ring.
if it's in the span of a year that it's continued to be babyface, then it kind of it's still
He
overrated.
should have turned on Gable
Bobby Roode's
months ago.
best years, in my opinion, was 2010 to 2012 because he had a lot of supporting characters as a heel, but also I enjoyed his time. This was in TNA with Fortune, AJ
and beer money.
and Beer Money, AJ Styles, James Storm, and Frankie Kazarian. I think Bobby Roode, what he needs to really get going, I think he needs to be part of a stable, not with Chad Gable because I think it's stupid.
Stable.
But
Yeah, agreed.
I think the Revival should join up with Bobby Lashley because they could
Bobby
recreate
Lashley?
Good one.
Bobby Roode.
that'll be
Excuse
a
me.
hell of a team.
That would be good. Yeah.
No, but Bobby
No,
Roode,
wouldn't it be
Bobby
terrible?
Roode and the Revival would complement
Yeah.
each other so well, and I
agree.
feel like that they would need to have. I think is what Bobby Roode needs to get back to that level because right now he's just been overrated. He's living off of name recognition and a theme song and a pretty jacket. So
TNA Invasion stable. Bobby Roode, AJ Styles,
I've been
Samoa
a proponent.
Joe.
and Samoa Joe.
If Austin
Take
Aries
cover.
was there, we could have had that. We could have had the Dirty Heels, but
the
Austin-
Dirty Heels would have been great.
we were clamoring for that last year, but we never got it.
No, we never got it. It was really
Um,
sad.
But Bobby Roode.
All right.
Oh man, he took the
yeah.
mic off the stand. He's being serious
yeah,
about this. Last time he did this
Here
is when he
comes-
said about
man.
Elias.
Here comes the Uncle Ernest pipe.
Wait,
bomb.
here we go.
No, this,
Is it a
pipe bombs
is it a
are really
repeat?
good.
Hold on.
yeah, to be honest, I put down Bobby Lashley because it's just sort of like the debut. Okay, it was cool and all, but you're going back with a guy that has a baby face, literally a baby face, and you're trying to capture what he had.
and a big
Like,
voice.
I swear to God, the guy looks like he's 3. How old is he in real life? 46 or something like that?
40.
This guy's gonna
44?
find you.
He's gonna find you and end you.
I know
Because he's the
that.
destroyer.
You're gonna see him come
And
through
like-
the walls.
And
Like
Leo
they
Rush
tried to
is-
push him before with what was it back in 2006 or something like that?
Yeah.
2007, 8 or
Let's say
something like
8-ish
that.
around
He had a
there.
solid match with John Cena. Though.
Like they tried to push him. That didn't work out, and then he went elsewhere and got popular, and he's like he got better and all that. And then when they tried to bring him back,
Well, they tried reimposing the same thing onto him,
Exactly,
not
yeah,
let the
that's-
thing that made him popular happen.
Now, what was
there.
the thing that made him popular in TNA? Can we just all do that
His
just
mic
for
skills
clarity?
got
His
better.
mic skills got way better. They
Was
gave
it just like him just running roughshod like a Braun Strowman, right?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I feel like the best thing for him is to be Braun Strowman, but I don't think WWE wants to do it.
I don't
'cause
think they could
already
do it on
have
the
a Drew
same brand.
McIntyre and a Braun Strowman. You're kind of just
Bobby
like
needs
another one.
Bobby can go to SmackDown and do that same thing, and I feel like he would succeed a lot better, especially with matches against AJ Styles
Yeah.
or Rey Mysterio.
Samoa Joe. I mean, there's a lot there. You got to change his gimmick, but WWE doesn't want to make it echo other people. But
I think
frankly,
but,
a train wreck.
but look what they're doing with Matt Hardy. They bring back to the whole bracket broken Matt Hardy thing, and we see how that's going.
that's true.
So,
But like
if you're gonna do something else, it has to be something else because you can't do the same thing over again. If it worked in one, I mean, like, look at Matt Hardy, look at Tensai, like. you
oh
see what
man,
I
he
mean?
brought in Tensai.
Yeah,
I liked Tensai when he came in.
yeah, and then they put him
good,
in a
but then-
nightgown
but then
dress.
they had no idea what to do
made
with
him
him.
dance with
So, I
Brodus
like
Clay.
we don't want the same thing to happen. So,
Well, he was a brand new superstar, right? Never been in WWE before that.
Yeah.
Tensai. He's never,
Yeah.
never
no,
that.
yeah, it's been,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not like
Yeah,
he
it's
looked.
Albert.
No,
Yeah,
no,
if
no,
he didn't
no.
look like
No,
no,
completely different
Tensai.
people.
Oh, never mind. Yeah,
Completely
That's
different
Tensai.
people.
Tensai is from Japan.
Yeah.
Albert is from America.
Yeah,
Two
it's
different-
completely
Yeah,
different.
I mean, he's
Haven't you seen
he's a very
his-
pasty, Japanese
Yeah,
wrestler.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean,
It's
like,
like the thing with Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mankind. They're all different people.
Yeah,
exactly.
all different
What the
picks
hell
on the
you-
draft. All different picks.
Each were in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
listen in WWE, in 2K whatever
bastard
game
still
can make
lost.
it 3 slots for Mankind. They do the same thing for Tensai and Albert. That's all I'm saying.
I think what killed Lashley was two things. Was one, him not popping up to be Braun Strowman's partner at the Raw Tag Team
WrestleMania.
match at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
And then what also killed him was them not going with him to fight Brock Lesnar at
Agreed.
SummerSlam.
It was just
Agreed.
weird because I'm pretty sure he beat Roman. What was it? At Extreme? Rules?
Extreme Rules.
yeah, and then nothing happened after
And then
that.
they had like a tournament, and Roman beat Lashley to fight him at SummerSlam.
That
So it's
it should have just automatically
It's
been a number
because
contender
there
match.
was no
they just
consistency
kept
there.
shooting Roman into that spot, and then
Yeah.
They also weren't sure about Brock Lesnar's status, so it was like very weird. They didn't want to say
And
no
like
more
that's
contender.
in the sense where it's like you don't have anything against Roman, but I think that was poor booking. I think they should have given Lashley a shot.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
now,
Oh,
Or
yeah,
have
exactly.
Roman
Look at him.
win
if you look at the
Extreme
Rules,
Rules.
Yeah, or have Roman win
near that
Extreme Rules.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or just
exactly,
bypass all of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
like
That
if he
was-
won
that
at
was the
Mania, or if he
chance.
won at the
That
Greatest
was the
Royal
opportunity.
Rumble, or won at Extreme Rules,
I think
or
Bo-
win
I know,
at blah blah
Jimmy.
blah.
Bobby should have actually also been Roman Reigns' first challenger following his title win, not
Agreed.
Braun
Oh,
Strowman.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
agreed.
About that.
Absolutely.
Joe?
I like the Lesnar pick, but I do want to throw a couple names in there.
We talked about this.
Baron Corbin
Yeah.
Overrated? Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
and Shane O'Mac. He beat 2 men at once. He's the best professional wrestler in the world.
Joe and I talked about this.
Okay,
We were
yeah,
talking
that's
a lot about
okay. For the context of the category, yeah, it makes sense. Like that's a good honorable mention.
But yeah, I'll go with Brock.
So we have two Brock,
three
Three
Brock.
Brock.
three Brock,
Three
So
Brock.
that's it.
two
two
Lashley,
Bobbies,
and a
and-
Bobby and a pear tree.
So it's Brock.
It's gonna be Brock.
Yeah, I
mean,
think
to be- that's probably the best one.
I think at
though,
the end
so-
of the day, you're looking at a guy that only suplexes in F5s and consistently wins, is barely here, is billed as the best
be
thing
hon-
here.
hon-
but
But
he's
it was
frankly not.
good. It was a good gimmick a year ago, but now it's just gotten.
I didn't
old
even
and
like
stale.
it then. I've been sick of this for a while. It's just,
I think it
Well,
was
I'm sure
good.
that people are sick of it,
2016,
yeah.
it was good. 2015 to
2016.
2016.
Yes.
Yeah.
But after his match with Ambrose, I think that's when it went downhill.
yeah.
That's when people got tired of it because it was like 2014 to 2015 because that was Suplex City, and then it started to run its course by 2016, and then he's been riding that into 2018.
Right.
But in all honesty, his
2019.
Survivor Series matches, they've probably been the best ones that he's had consistent.
that's it. And
you know,
that's
AJ,
And then-
Brian,
It was AJ both times, right?
even Goldberg was.
His match with
Goldberg
Cena when he
was
first
very
came back
good.
was
Goldberg
CM
was-
Punk was really good. I think he needs that like he needs to fight people he respects. He respected Brian. He respected Styles. He respected CM
Goldberg.
Punk,
Yeah.
Goldberg.
John Cena. Win that Extreme Rules match when he first came back.
Yeah,
I think it's just
yeah.
crazy though that we're like nitpicking. Like we need to just find a way for Lesnar to have a good match. Like it's just crazy.
He needs to find someone he respects.
No,
he does
needs
not
to go into
respect
the
Roman.
UFC
Right.
officially and not
He respected
have the
the
belt.
Right, I
That's
just
what
don't
he
want. I
needs.
just don't want this anymore. There's no more. There's no dream match. There's nothing I want anymore. I just want him gone. That's really. What
I want
want.
Batista versus Brock.
And have Batista win.
I want Batista to win.
He
Probably
respected
wouldn't.
the Undertaker not to let him win with
Alright.
a low blow.
This is how
Okay.
Batista comes out to WrestleMania. The dust swirls, and you just see him just pop up.
Okay.
Avengers Infinity War reference.
We're running really long on time here,
yeah.
so we
The
gotta keep going.
Last year's episode was 2 hours, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It was almost 2 hours. We're
All right.
not even halfway done yet, and we're getting onto the
We're
hour
actually
and a
like
half.
half. We're,
No, we're
we're more
halfway.
than
We are.
halfway.
We're at
No,
moment
because
of
we
the
also
year.
have a couple questions towards the end. You're all
Yeah.
forgetting about that.
But that's discussion. That's fine.
So we got moment now because we already
Moment
did
of the
rookie.
year.
Moment of the year. Let's,
Alyssa?
There's a lot of moments.
Okay, the one I chose because I'm an asshole. How about Titus World Slide?
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think
honorable mention. I that was my honorable mention.
That's a moment.
But it was man.
You just love the commentators. Here comes Titus O'Neil, leader
Okay,
of the.
so-
What is that?
Come on, the best thing
Did
was
Titus
Corey
O'Neil
Briggs
just go
breaking
into the
down on
ring?
commentary. That was probably the
Briggs'
best part.
character.
You saw, I think it was Elias. You just see someone in the back of the ring, like who was in the ring when it was going on, just start pissing himself.
That was There was Elias.
I think
it was Elias.
Elias. You just see him, and I think they interviewed him. He's just like, I couldn't do it. Like I just saw him. Like, did I just really see that? Like,
And then
Okay, so-
he immediately gets into the ring and just cold cocks whoever the first person that comes up to him. I think it was Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan got hit
Just
hard.
immediately just
I think if I
fucking
did that,
face.
I think I would have got out under the ring and just walked up and left.
No, I think I would have gone out, gone in, eliminated myself, and then just walked back.
just Randy
was
Savage,
good.
just Macho Man myself.
I would have just like, guys.
That was so.
Step
I forgot
out,
about.
step over the top rope. I'm going home, guys. I'm getting
I
the
got
next
my
flight.
paycheck.
I'm getting the next flight out
I'm
of
a
here.
YouTube sensation. I'm out of here.
Oh, God.
Another meme. That's on a T-shirt. God, like, once you get on a T-shirt, you're done. I'm sorry.
All right, Jimmy.
This one was tough.
Yeah, a lot of good ones.
I totally forgot about that.
Me too.
It's like the Titus one, because it's one of the happier moments. But there's a lot of like serious things that happened
Yeah.
this year that I kind of want to highlight.
Avoid the serious
I know I wanted to avoid it too.
I think at the end of the day, though, it's got to be like,
Got to be brought up.
yeah.
This is not my pick because this is an honorable mention because I want to bring this up, and that's the Roman Reigns situation, leukemia scenario.
I actually have that as my pick.
That's
That
the
actually
moment of
is
the
my
year?
pick.
You going to hell?
I think not.
Wait,
I'll see you there, Jared.
There's no like, no. This really, it's, and we'll get to it. There's, but we'll get to it. You
yeah,
go, you
like
go.
it's an honorable mention for me just because, like, it can't. It's definitely like a shocker of the year, and I kind of changed the whole dynamic between
Yeah.
the fall season till right about now.
Yeah.
And it's a moment that you kind of can't ignore. It sucks, and I think we've all talked about it. I think decently that it was a pretty awful situation, but it's something I want to highlight. I think the moment of the year, though, I think, and another honorable mention is Paige officially retiring from wrestling.
Yeah,
that's just like an honorable mention. I have to put that one out there because that did happen technically this year, even though the injury happened last year. But so my moment of the year has to be Daniel Bryan's return. Like, there's no
That's one of them.
yeah.
That's one of the ones.
it can't be anything else. There was
I agree.
no way that any of us thought. I remember being in class and got the Twitter news, and I was like, "Holy fuck! I gotta leave now to go watch SmackDown." So like that's
definitely.
that was definitely my moment of the year.
CJ.
Carl.
I picked Shane O'Mac winning.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. I picked Daniel Bryan.
I was like, CJ's a different kind of asshole.
No, I picked DB. I'm like DB. Like the moment he came back, it was like just so much.
I think you're the one who posted the.
I did post it.
You posted it, and that's when I.
Yeah, because Daniel Bryan, you never expected it to come back, and it was like something like Shawn Michaels. It was akin to Shawn Michaels returning, but better because we really thought he was done, or if he wasn't done, he would leave. But the fact that he's back in WWE is phenomenal. And
Now he's champion now. So,
Yeah, yeah,
like, you can't-
and-
he's leaving 2018 champion.
and
Like,
the thing
he's-
is, I know Jimmy and I we did this.
he's a liberal.
Something. Yes, that's
yeah,
his
we'll
gimmick,
get
liberal.
we'll get.
But like we talked, something we said that we wanted to see in 2018. I said, "Hey, I want to see Daniel Bryan turn heel." Jimmy goes, "I want to see him wrestle first." Well, we both got our wish. But yeah,
I mean, I got mine at the grandest
like-
stage of them all. You got yours, what, a couple of weeks?
Out of SmackDown.
hey, no one thought like
It's
on
just
the-
crazy.
I mean,
on,
also
like,
we got an
talking smack
impressive.
with The
We also
Miz.
got two impressive matches involving him and Mustafa Ali. I mean, you can't.
Yeah,
Even though Mustafa
I-
kind of botched that one on.
He's
and hit him.
fine.
He is
He's fine.
now.
I mean, because
He's
because
alive.
of those matches, he's officially on SmackDown Live
Yeah.
now. So I
But
mean, you can't ignore
It's
that.
just crazy that like you had that thing on Talking Smack where the Miz like went after Daniel Bryan and everyone's like they're gonna fight and everyone's like no it's a
Yeah.
pipe dream and it's just crazy that it actually happened.
I'm just happy Daniel Bryan's back. I'm happy I was right that I got a heel turn, and now he's champion.
I'm just happy that I was right that he got a chance to wrestle in WWE
That
one
too.
more time.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
Well, I had Daniel Bryan, but an honorable mention I want to do is when John Cena finally challenged The Undertaker. Because for me, that was such a big thing. For me personally, that's a match I've been waiting to see for such a long time.
Were you satisfied?
No, but
I was about to say.
the moment when he challenged him, that was something that like I enjoyed. The actual match itself,
That was a train wreck. That wasn't even a match. That was a nightmare.
it was just like.
It was like a worse version of
That was a
Goldberg
nightmare.
and Brock Lesnar. Like
Yeah.
let's be honest.
I mean, they
But
teased
I
it
always
for
put
weeks, so.
yeah, but I've told
we
people
wanted
that,
Taker Cena, and I was really expecting a match. I thought Taker would show up, and there would be a match,
supposed
and
to be
it
American
was a
Badass.
burial.
Damn it, Kid
A
Rock.
literal
See,
burial.
I think that like I looked at it as that's a teaser match for next year. So this WrestleMania coming up, you'll actually see a match. That's what I looked at it as.
I have my own opinion about how Undertaker just used to retire before he
Yes.
breaks everything in his body.
That's
but
fair.
But I think like John
that's its own
Cena, John
argument.
Cena needs to retire the Undertaker. It has to be that. It
should.
can't be Roman Reigns. It has to be John Cena. Nobody else.
It should have been Bray Wyatt.
If we keep doing this, Undertaker's going to retire himself.
Yeah,
Should have been
exactly.
Bray Wyatt. Actually, no. It should have just stayed with Brock Lesnar. In my personal opinion, should have been done with Brock Lesnar.
It's Roman Reigns Jr. versus The Undertaker. WrestleMania 60.
Yeah,
Taker's
exactly.
coming on a walker.
All right, Joe, what was yours?
Well, I'm going with Daniel Bryan, but just an honorable mention for just a shock moment when Braun Strowman threw Kevin Owens off the top of the steel cage at Extreme Rules. That was just
That was funny.
I think that, and a quick little honorable mention was Charlotte ending Asuka's undefeated streak. I think that needs to be just
yeah,
talked
he
about.
got mad about that.
I think it
He
does
got real
need
mad
to
about
be
that.
brought up.
happens.
I was there
Bring it up
live.
quick. I'm done. I'm not saying I liked it.
okay.
Just bringing it up. I think when you really think about it, I think there are just three huge.
Do you still have that Snapchat video saved?
Yeah, it's
Jimmy,
probably on
of
our.
my
It's
rants?
buried in our Twitter or something like that. I know.
I ranted hard about that.
I bet you did.
She did. He did. My girlfriend was just the face. Just.
And they
it's hard
had
to
me with
describe
like
on a
one kind of
audio
like
podcast,
voice
but-
modulator thing. It was just
Yeah, describing it on on an audio podcast is a little hard, but just imagine like the
She
very
has the title now.
confused
She
puppy
has the title
face.
now.
So
We got there. It would have been worse if we didn't.
why does
but we got
Ronda
there.
get the undefeated streak but not Asuka? Asuka had it longer. Asuka was there
Let's
first.
not do this.
okay,
Let's not do this.
okay. Great.
So that's an honorable mention. I think you're looking at three huge moments. Daniel Bryan returning. Oh my God, CJ, you're just.
You have upset him.
I listed it. I didn't like. I disagree with it. I thought it should have been.
you opened this door.
I just thought it should have been mentioned. I don't know how to fix this now. Hey, Becky, yeah.
No, just go. No, just
Becky.
no, just keep talking about your pick.
He's the
I think
man.
He'll
She's
get over it.
The three biggest things. I'm surprised, especially you didn't mention Rousey showing up.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's
true.
a gigantic moment that needs to be.
That's very true.
talked
Yeah,
about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of
that was
moments.
pretty
yeah
good.
that's the
That's-
problem. There were a ton of them. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's. I think the two biggest, as we said, Daniel Bryan returning, and you got to talk about Roman. And even though it seems like Daniel Bryan's gonna win, Roman is my pick, and my reason is just because it's one of those things where I think and it's nothing to do with the fact that it's bad. It's just when you get into one of those moments where it bends the WWE reality. You know, we know
It's like when real life interjects.
Right,
itself,
we know
that's
it's
the thing.
scripted, we know it's entertainment, but then when real life intervenes and it becomes so unpredictable like that, and you sit back and you're like, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with wrestling right now. You're looking at a guy who really might just be the best guy in the entire company, just looking at himself.
Exactly,
And when you see that, and you see, especially now, and of all the people, it's Roman, the guy that's been pushed to the moon, that everyone's been all over, and he's been under a microscope his entire tenure, especially when he's gotten this push. And now you see this, and to see the entire crowd just completely get behind him and understand, like, regardless of the booking, forget the booking, look at the man, look at the
Exactly,
guy,
yeah.
and see that now he's got a fight on his hands, a real fight on his hands. And when he comes back, because I will say that everyone wants him to come back. I hope he comes back. And just how everyone will greet him. Everyone's fighting for him. And I think it's one of those moments that you have to talk about. And that's what makes your moment of the year.
Except for that stupid guy that said you still suck, Roman.
Yeah, I know that one.
That's
Screw
Okay.
that.
He's
That's a
already
train
in
wreck.
hell.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That
why
was
it's
pretty bad.
that's why it's my pick. I completely see why Daniel Bryan returning could.
It's a tough
be.
one. It's
No,
tough between the
it
two.
is
I
a
think-
toss-up.
Two big
Yeah, I
things.
think Roman is just one of those things where again, I think it just transcends just wrestling. It goes and Daniel Bryan does too because it's all
Yeah.
about
It's the
your
same
hopes
thing,
and your,
yeah.
But I
But
think
it's like a
just-
different.
This is one
part.
of those things where just like it's
literally the
it's
on the
beyond.
spectrum is like one end is like something really good and happy, and then
And
the
the
other one
right.
is like,
Yeah.
oh my
Exactly.
god, what the hell just happened?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the
So,
thing
like,
is that
that's-
Roman never, he never disclosed this to anyone.
Right.
It was very,
And
I think it was like a
shows his
wiki
courage.
mention. It was like a
yeah.
wiki mention, but that was it.
Yeah, and I think it shows his courage
To even say it out there.
Yeah, you just like you keep it on the wraps. What was it, 11 years, and he's been doing this and able to get to the top of the card, having the ability to work your way up the ladder.
Yeah.
Let's talk
it's
about
just-
the announcement of how he held it together so well.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I was breaking down for him.
I was in shock. I didn't even.
I know
didn't-
when it was going on, I was like, oh, he's just talking, whatever. And then he went, yeah, my name's Joe, and I have leukemia. And I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, because once he said something like like I don't feel like it. Like he said something like that. I'm like, oh, what'd you do? Like what? Like where's this going? And then once he said his name, I'm like, what?
Wait,
What-
what's
what
going
do
on right now?
Well, okay.
Nah,
Is this
serious?
real? Like,
Joe,
are they
like-
really like making this kayfabe right now? 'Cause
Yeah,
this
like,
is not.
And then once you hear the word leukemia, like
yeah, and then you
Yeah.
actually find out like it's
you're
dead
just
serious. It's like,
and you just
oh.
see everyone and
Thinking about
watching
all the
it.
times I've ever said F Roman. It's just, oh
Yeah,
my
it's just
God.
you know.
I feel like a dirtbag.
Yeah, it just made me feel like a real dirtbag.
I
Took a
mean,
little while, CJ.
I held it
Shut up,
together
Joe.
real well until Seth's cry.
I was just
face
about to say,
happened.
you see Seth.
Yeah.
Seth's
oh,
cry
yeah.
face broke me.
Yeah, it was a moment. It was a moment.
It was a moment.
So
And then
that's
just-
why it's my vote, and I'm just
Another-
happy that we at least talk.
Another
Yeah.
honorable mention is literally what happened a couple hours later in that show where Dean.
Oh, when Elias turned face.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, another.
and I think
speaking,
Braun turned.
Braun turned face.
Oh wait, speaking of Elias, his
yeah.
moment of being a real heel in Seattle was probably another
Oh
huge.
my
moment.
my
God.
god!
That was probably one of
Him
the
and
best
Kevin
and
didn't
funny.
know what to do.
That's how you get heat.
That's how you get heat, by the way.
Oh.
Let's talk about
Looks like
Seattle
you
not
really
having a
got to him
basketball
here.
team in God knows how long.
Let me throw it to Uncle Ernest. Uncle Ernest, you called Elias the most overrated wrestler of 2017. You said to ask you a year later how you think about him. How do you feel about him?
He's still overrated. Look at him. Look at that Jeff Jarrett copy that
But he's-
has the body of Hercules. I had to remember what I said.
With
Yeah,
the
body
face-
of
With the
Hercules
face,
and
with the body of Hercules and the face of Damian Sandow.
I re-listened
Really?
to that episode. It was really good.
I get it though. He is entertaining. I will say that because when I saw him at the Rumble, it was pretty funny. Like, it was pretty funny. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it to him. But he's still overrated.
I remember when I was first watching. I'm like, this guy's a train wreck. Like this.
Oh,
is-
yeah, exactly.
This ain't
And then you were like, please,
Yeah.
please insult us.
Yeah, right. Like I remember when he was like insulting us, and you're like, "Yeah, we're trash. We're garbage." Like it works. It works.
It got him over.
I mean, he
so-
he also debuted an album this year, or like an
Yeah,
EP or
I think
whatever.
he did,
Yeah, he did.
It was pretty good.
And I think he's better. I really like him as a face. I do, because he just makes fun of everyone else. Like he doesn't make fun of it's really good. It's very good.
I mean, you gotta turn heel on Seattle one time and then bam.
Yeah, what happens if they go to Seattle? I don't think he's gonna be a face.
Oh man, I will laugh so hard if we get booed in Seattle.
He
People
will.
still remember.
Yeah.
We remember. But going back to another honorable mention was Dean turning on Seth at that
Yeah.
exact. Like that was I understand
After
that,
they
like,
win the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
yeah, after like it was still a moment. Like
Yeah.
I
you're like
still didn't-
I
yeah.
would like if that story like really progressed and that was like the front running story of like going into this, it probably would have been better ratings wise.
Like you can go back to the podcast where we talked about. I remember saying to myself, like my biggest worry was that they were just going to use this pop and not have substance
Yeah.
behind it. And unfortunately, it looks like that's what's happening.
that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's getting vaccines in his ass. It's great.
That was a solid segment. Like,
Supposedly Vince wrote that. So
Yeah, of course,
That's
of
not-
course.
Same
Apparently
thing
he
with the
also
pissing on the
wrote-
robe.
Yeah, pissing on Bobby Roode's robe. Apparently he wrote that too. So.
He's a
All
genius.
right.
So I guess we're going with Daniel Bryan. Is
We're
that-
gonna go
Yeah,
Daniel
Daniel
Bryan.
Bryan.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right, so the big five.
All right. So match of the year. I'm gonna throw my honorable mention out there. It's gonna come out of left field. Honorable mention is Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the last women's standing match at Evolution.
I have it on my
abs-
finalists.
Yeah, I just
didn't-
don't know if anyone expected me to actually pick that match.
No, I
actually did expect you to pick it.
That's
So
one of the better ones. I
curious to see what
personally
your
like the
real pick
triple
is.
threat at TLC better. I personally liked it better.
I like
but
blood
they're-
feuds.
They're both.
I do.
both
I like-
Were
All
fantastic
right,
matches.
so who goes first?
fuck if I know.
Did you go?
I think it's your turn.
Yeah, my turn. Okay, so match of the year. Man, this one's tough because this one I didn't really think about.
Not for me.
Not for me either, actually.
Yeah, I think we're thinking the same one.
We might.
I'm gonna say we are.
We might.
I'm gonna go with actually the first 5-star of the year for WWE, and that was NXT. It was Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano. That was a really good match.
Okay, so we're all on the same line of thinking.
Oh, I
Jared. All right, so we'll say it at the same time.
No,
One,
I don't want to say it because I think we're just say it and I'll echo it.
NXT Takeover New Orleans, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in that
Bang.
unsanctioned
Yeah,
fight.
I'm with it. I agree.
That was my favorite. That
Banger. It was
bang.
great.
Just bang.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
All the callbacks were
Oh.
amazing because they called back to the year prior with NXT Takeover Chicago. They did a callback even prior to the Cruiserweight Classic match, the first match between the two of them. It was just so much.
Yeah,
So
Like,
much.
there's a lot of story behind it, and it earned its 5 stars. The reason why I picked Cien Almas is because that
It
was
was
like the
first.
first. It was
It was
first.
first.
It was first, and don't give me that. You
But
know
it wasn't better.
it wasn't. It was not.
It was not
this,
better.
This match. Was like,
I'm just calling it as parallel. The only
No,
reason why
absolutely.
the second one is.
Wait a second.
and I
better.
have it written.
It's just
down.
because the
It's one of
second
my
one's better. It's
nominations.
because there's a really good story behind
Yeah.
it.
You know what I realized? Johnny hasn't won a takeover match since he was tag teaming with DIY.
Well, didn't he beat? Well, he
That
beat,
was unsanctioned. It doesn't count.
Oh, come
It was unsafe.
on. He got
It doesn't.
reinstated. By winning,
Like
he
I
got
said,
reinstated.
The expression you
It's
just had
different
now
from
was
that, that's all.
amazing. It's just like, really?
Oh my god.
Don't follow CJ in. He's just gonna hit you with that.
He's not
logic.
wrong.
I have a lot. I have a lot
That's
of.
what it is.
You're not wrong, but
It's just-
we really don't
but
need to bring it up
Yeah, it's like,
anyways.
you're not wrong, but you're wrong.
All right,
You're an ass. That's what it is.
Hey,
Uncle Ernest. Yeah.
All right, I had the men's Royal Rumble because that's a
Really?
match for me personally.
Oh, yeah.
That's a match that I've watched over and over all year long, experiencing it live and then watching it
you
through
pick that
through the
one?
network. If there's one match that I can go back and like I would actually really enjoy, it was that. But that's just me personally.
Right.
Like I could see why the unsanctioned match is definitely match of the year. I didn't think NXT in all of this. Like maybe
Yeah.
like one of
I think
them,
you
but-
have to just how
How
much
much
better
NXT
NXT
Exactly.
is.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
That's all.
One,
But, yeah.
2,
But I went with the Rumble.
3. As of right now, 3 NXT people won. That's including the NXT Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah. So Joe.
And
what
also,
do you-
by the way, it's only so far Johnny and Tommaso.
Johnny,
Yeah, yeah.
Johnny Tommaso, Johnny.
Johnny Tommaso.
I mean,
Tommaso,
like I
Johnny,
said, if there was a
Johnny,
feud of
Tommaso.
the year award, there it is.
Yeah.
Didn't they get NXT Takeover too? New Orleans? Didn't they get that? Or no?
No, that was Evolution.
Evolution got it. Okay.
Evolution got it now. We were close with New Orleans, but man, it was tough. But go on.
One of the 2 5-star takeover matches were the final 2 things for me: the ladder match and then the
Yeah, I
Gargano
had the ladder match also.
Ciampa. Yeah,
That
but
was a good one. Yeah.
Gargano Ciampa, I think, just above all else, exceeded everything.
That was an honorable mention though.
It
that
was-
ladder match was phenomenal.
That ladder match was
Oh
fantastic.
my god.
I have the TLC triple threat, which
Yeah.
I actually thought that was probably the best WWE match of the year. If not, the closest one would be the Evolution match.
another
also.
honorable mention that we should probably address is the first big gauntlet this year, which went over
Oh,
an hour and somewhat.
As long as you
With,
count up
Elimination
to
Chamber?
Rollins, because after
Yeah.
that it went to
Yeah.
a train wreck.
It was good. It was good.
That's why it's an honorable mention.
Another-
but it needs to be said though, because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, oh, yeah.
like out of all
Hands down.
gauntlet matches, I think that's probably like one of the best.
I think
ones.
the last Styles Nakamura match, the last man standing match, was
That was
also
good.
very
That was really
good.
good.
It was a very
That
good
whole feud
match.
was a train wreck.
The whole
and
feud
we
was a train
we
wreck.
predicted
Match
that
was
last year too. We're like, oh, I can't wait to see what they do, and we're just like, they're gonna
Nah,
trash
they
it.
disappointed.
They trashed it.
Disappointed.
Before I go into another honorable mention, Alyssa, your pick.
Oh, I said Black versus Gargano at Takeover War Games 2.
That's another.
That
that's
was a
another
really
good
I
good one.
enjoyed that way more than I probably should have.
one. It's still good though.
And then, a couple of honorable mentions for me. The gauntlet match from February
Oh, okay.
with Rollins. And then that ladder match for the North American Championship. Yep.
I'm gonna throw another one out there: Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar.
That one was it was more of like a shocking match. It was like
I
okay.
thought it was good because you really did
I'd
believe
rather say
Daniel would
Daniel
win.
Bryan, AJ Styles that just happened at TLC. I think that was better.
I liked the first one on SmackDown. I thought that one was great.
Yeah, it was good too.
I thought that one was the better one, but yeah, we'll
Brock
see.
Lesnar is not allowed to be considered for a Match of the Year award. Unless it's worst match of the year.
That was his best match of the year.
Last year, though, he
was
I
only
think
good
that
match.
AJ
between him and
Styles.
Styles almost won. Like that was a really good match.
Like
Yeah, the whole time with Daniel Bryan though, I think we were watching it together, and just the whole time I'm like this. No, I never believed.
It's
I just
the
never
cat.
believed.
but like
the
he made you
character
believe
or-
at certain parts, like holy shit.
No, not like just him winning.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Even like
Well, that's the same way I feel about AJ Styles, but I mean, he turned it around.
I did
Both
believe that
did.
Daniel Bryan almost died in a couple of those German suplexes.
Yes.
because it
Yes.
looked bad.
all neck.
I'm like, Brock, he's very fragile. You can't do that to him.
All right.
So it seems we're going with Gargano, Ciampa.
Yes.
It seems
Yeah.
NXT Takeover New Orleans, the unsanctioned match.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4, Championship of the Year. So we could pick any championship.
And we're starting with you.
I'm gonna go with the NXT Championship.
I had that
On my
there.
list.
I went with that because I feel like that was the most prominent one, and it was such a huge focal point. Even when Aleister
Jimmy
Black
shaking his
had it,
head.
even when Aleister Black had it, when Ciampa set his sights on it, it became the biggest deal. And like you can make that argument with that, like the NXT Championships have so much more prestige than the main roster ones. Universal Championship's dead in the fucking water.
Well, we know
WWE Championship was marred by double countouts, double disqualifications, and fucking low blows this entire year. And also disappointing end results where, granted, we got Daniel Bryan as champion. Samoa Joe should have taken the belt off of AJ. Shinsuke should have taken the belt off of AJ. There were so many times they could have pulled the trigger, but they didn't. The Intercontinental Championship, it kind of fell off the face of the earth, like as soon as the Shield, which kind of showed Shield was more important than a championship, which
All the championships got overshadowed by that. Shield
United States
storyline.
Championship, MIA, the SmackDown and Raw Tag Team Championships, what the actual fuck? Raw Women's Championship, you can make the case that, yeah, that was pretty good. Same with SmackDown Women's Championship. But,
Well, it's gotten amazing now.
yeah,
towards
but
the
like
end, for the
Carmella,
whole year.
Carmella's reign with it was good, but it did hurt it.
Yeah.
And Raw Women's
I
Championship.
mean, especially considering the James Ellsworth.
Yeah, and then you have Alexa
Never talk about
Bliss.
it again.
Her second reign with the belt was, I think it was good to take it to Ronda, but it was also unnecessary
Yeah.
in a way. So
For the women for Raw and SmackDown, it's kind of the same thing. Like once Ronda got it, once Becky and Charlotte got, now but
Yeah.
for the entire year, it's not.
and then you also have what was it, Cruiserweight Championship? What?
it's good. It's not bad.
I mean, it got good after Mania.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It
The,
got good
the
after
Murphy
Mania.
Alexander, the Murphy match was very good.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't
At
get the
TLC.
exposure, so I wouldn't even
Well, I mean,
consider it.
the Cruiserweight Championship at the beginning of the year was on a man who literally got out of the company during beginning of that year.
Yeah.
Then they had to have a tournament to determine a new one. Got put on the right guy,
It only took you 6 months to put it on the right guy.
and then took another another 6 months to put it on a different right guy. So
It's
I mean,
not bad necessarily. It just needs more exposure.
I'm,
and I'm not.
I
Really
know
sure
last
how
year
it's
we
ever
said the
gonna get it, but-
Intercontinental Championship, but this one, it has to be the NXT Championship's year. Like this, it really was the year of the NXT Championship. Jimmy, keep shaking your head. I dare you.
All right,
Keep
we'll
it
get
up.
to-
okay, yeah,
We'll get to you
okay.
at the end.
Okay, well, yeah, okay.
I went with the women's championship. Doesn't matter
one?
with Raw or SmackDown.
Really?
I went with the women's championship. I think that championship, they were like kind of like, it started off last year's kind of like, oh, these are like, it started off the women's movement, like with
Yeah.
women's wrestling. Okay, it moved over, like they don't call it Divas Championship anymore. It's the women's championship. It had a nice little start. I think this year is when it really progressed and it really showed, okay, you know what? This is star power right here. We want to make these prestigious, and you could tell that WWE focused so much on those two titles that it hurt everything else. I can understand like you think with the NXT Championship and how it's like it was this year and all that stuff. Like I get it with yours, but I think like the women just like progressed like from the beginning of the year all the way till now.
And I can agree
It's
with
just
that because if we weren't going to do NXT Championships, it would have been like the women's titles.
And it doesn't matter Raw or SmackDown. It was just a progression
Yeah.
all year long to where it is now, where it's almost on par with the Universal and the WWE title.
Gun to your head if you had to pick one.
It's above the
If you had
Universal.
to pick one, which one's good? Which one's better? Which one's better this year? Because you got
Do
to
you pick the red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, right. Gun to your head if you had to pick one.
Oh, the yellow
That's
pill.
tough.
You could pick the yellow pill if you want.
Yeah. Well,
The
that would be
NXT
what,
Women's
yeah.
Championship.
I would go with the SmackDown one.
Okay.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
I would go with SmackDown.
I would
like,
agree
Raw's
with that.
cool and all. Like obviously Raw was all around Ronda, but
Yeah.
I
I
think,
think
if you want to
SmackDown
go
was better too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to look at it like pure wrestling wise, like I was entertained a lot by SmackDown Women's Championship.
5 different championship reigns, 4 different champions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All right, Joe.
I did have the NXT Championship as a finalist, but I'm gonna agree with Uncle Ernest and go with the SmackDown Women's Championship.
That's fair.
I think just take the Carmella reign out for a second, and you had Evolution, great match. TLC, great match.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania, Charlotte versus Asuka was a very good match. Even though I hated the result, it was still a very
Yeah.
good match. It's gotten a lot of exposure, especially due to Becky lately. But I think the SmackDown Women's Championship has presented, besides the James Ellsworth and Shark Cage match, some pretty solid matches on pay-per-view. So I'm gonna give it to a second vote for the SmackDown Women.
I do want to give an honorable mention to the WWE Championship just because of what AJ Styles did with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give it to the guy. I mean, he's arguably the best wrestler in the world. Not Shane
Shane
McMahon.
Yeah.
So you definitely got to give it to him. I'm going with CJ. I'm going with the NXT title. I think that, and the argument kind of just got made by Joe, where there was like, besides this match, there was no bad match.
Yeah.
In NXT, there was nothing bad throughout the entire year.
And every feud with the NXT Championship was a very good feud.
Everything.
Even Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black, that was still enjoyable. That was still really good.
You're getting amazing quality matches, sometimes even 5-star matches, and you're getting 5-star storytelling consistently. There's no other belt that's been able to do that.
Yeah.
At least I don't think.
The only other one that can make that case would be the
NXT
NXT Tag Team Championship and the NXT North American Championship. Those are the other ones this year that had 5-star matches.
And I think that really is indicative of when you're looking at the best championship of the year, you're really looking at the best, like, not brand, but the best, program, where you're just looking at how much better NXT is. So you have the WWE Championship, SmackDown Women. Those are probably 2 strong belts. But again, because it's WWE, there's good parts and bad parts. It has just been consistently great. It has been held to such a standard. So
Yes.
I think you got to go with NXT.
Alyssa?
I'm going with Goldie.
There you go. Which Goldie?
Tommaso's baby Goldie.
All right, there we go. All right. Just double checking.
Gold, yeah, Goldust.
Mandy Rose,
Oh God.
Oksana?
your reasoning?
You basically said it.
Fair enough. All right, Jimmy kept shaking his head, and I'm gonna look straight so I don't have to clock him in the face. What are you going to pick? The
It is the
Cruiserweight
W-
Championship?
It is the WWE United Kingdom Championship. Here's a fun fact. 580 days Pete Dunne has held that title from May 20th of 2017.
Brock Lesnar held the title for 504 days. What's your point?
Except that Pete Dunne actually defends his title, unlike Brock Lesnar. The Universal Championship is in the garbage. Pete Dunne is raising this belt out of basically
How many
nothing.
matches have we seen with the United Kingdom Championship compared to the NXT Championship?
How
That's the
consistently do
thing.
you watch NXT UK?
How consistently has there been an NXT UK?
Yeah, but I feel like Pete, to kind of, I can't believe I'm going to agree with CJ, but Pete Dunne, I feel like, has been more involved in main feuds in NXT than he has with the UK Championship. Like, he was in the War Games match. He was in the tag team title picture for a while.
Pete
I think
Dunne's
it comes
fantastic.
back to something similar with the Cruiserweights, despite the fact how great Pete Dunne is. It comes down to exposure.
Pete Dunne is
a lot.
above the NXT UK division. He needs to, like, in all honesty, he's become the Asuka of the NXT UK
He's like
division.
Neville.
Exactly. He's too
Right, we never had the Cruiserweight
strong.
for so long, and then they're like, all right, we got to give him like the Intercontinental.
He's too
belt.
good.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
and like I can understand your reasoning that the NXT UK Championship.
It's WWE UK Championship, not NXT. WWE United Kingdom Championship. You're gonna say it right.
I don't care enough about the belt to
Well,
say
too
it.
bad. I do. and you're gonna say it right.
It's
You're gonna
that
give it its
C-level
prestige.
belt, which is the same par as the Cruiserweight Championship. Great matches, but hey,
It's the
where
top-
are you on my television screen?
Well, you would have to actually go on the WWE network. To
Oh,
actually
it sounds
watch
like the Cruiserweight Championship. I have to search for this shit.
This
Oh,
is
you
what-
mean just like NXT, like
This is
regular?
what me and Joe
Like, what's
crave.
your argument? for this?
NXT also has.
It's
like,
also on an
on
NXT
Hulu.
branded show. It's just
Oh,
on
so
air.
it's
for-
WWE
this is
NXT
why
UK
Jimmy and CJ
Championship.
can never be
No,
dual
it is called the
champions.
WWE one, but it is and the United.
The only
you two need to
exposure,
stop right now.
the
I'll punch
only
both of you in the
exposure
face.
that the United
I'm
Kingdom
Michael Jackson.
Championship
Popcorn
gets.
right now.
And it produced 2 awesome tournaments. You're telling me that you didn't enjoy any of it?
Oh, I'm sorry. How many
Okay,
5-star
stop it
matches
right
has
now.
it gotten? How many 5-star matches?
How many
At
5-star
that-
matches at the NXT? At
One.
The end of break? One?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the match you picked for match of the year, Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Wrestling.
It has nothing to do with the belt, though. It has everything to do with that feud.
Oh my god.
Again, this is why they can never be dual champions.
I understand I'm not going to win, but I'm damn sure going to fight for this belt.
And you have fought.
They do not have
This
the
belt
same-
is fought for 580 days. I'm going to continue this good fight. All
right.
right.
Who did he fight again? Oh.
They do not have the chemistry of the Jew
All
Age
right.
Outlaws.
All
right, let's move on with this.
Regrettably, we have to move on. The NXT.
Well, yeah.
NXT Championship has won.
Yeah. All right.
SmackDown Women's Champion. If we were doing just main roster titles, I would have went. with SmackDown.
That's the one I.
I'm gonna agree with you guys on that. But NXT Championship, bar none.
Tag team of the year.
Tag Team of the Year.
Man, this one's tough.
Not really for me because
Yeah, actually, not
Yeah,
really
I'm
for
pretty
me
sold.
either.
I'm gonna go with
Well, there was no good tag teams. Really.
Undisputed
That's why-
Eras,
Undisputed Era.
Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, undisputed.
I mean,
That,
any of
that's
them.
that's part of the problem, though. I would disagree, though. That's a real tag team, though.
No, they were the tag team.
Well,
though.
this did.
They
Well,
were the
They're
only
the tag
ones
team that got
defending.
the first belts, and then you had Undisputed Era. What was it?
They
Kyle
never def-
O'Reilly and
Bobby Fish never defended
Fish.
the belt. He never defended the belt. I'm saying
but he
that
won the belt, though.
I'm saying that specific tag team of the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. That
Round
I
two.
hate
Ding
both of
ding.
you so much.
they had that 5-star match with Mustache Mountain
Fight,
too,
fight, fight,
and they've
fight,
been
fight.
carrying the NXT
Fight,
Tag
fight,
Team
fight.
Championship division.
Interesting point, Jimmy. Your counter.
Who are you gonna pick, Mustache Mountain?
No, I
That's not a bad pick, to be
It's not a
honest.
bad
bad
pick.
pick,
I'm
but-
just throwing it out there just
I don't
because
know.
they're British.
That's why this is a problem for me because I can't really pick.
well,
there's
every
no
other
one on
tag
Raw.
team is
Yeah, but that's
trash.
like it. That's it though. Like
They've
except
been
for
trash
Undisputed
for
Era, but I
B
would
team.
count
The
Undisputed
B
Era as a
team is the
great.
tag team of the
We
year.
are not gonna go with the B
The
team.
B team is the tag team of the year.
the only
Next one. All right.
I-
Female wrestler of the year. All right. Female wrestler. Joe, you're up.
I had 3 other finalists and they were all on SmackDown.
Usos New Day
Usos
Bar.
New Day.
Yeah,
Yep, there it is.
that's it though. Like the tag teams, I feel like were really poor this year because last year was all about tag teams.
Yes.
That's my problem. That's
Last
the point
year
I'm
was
trying to
very
make.
difficult to
And I'd
pick.
make the argument that Undisputed Era is more of a faction than just a tag team.
But then the New Day have 3, and they circ. You know,
Yeah.
that's a stable, and they Freebird rule that. They don't Freebird rule that in Undisputed Era.
Yeah, they
Your
only
rebuttal?
have
I
two
think if they
people
have
defending
the
the belt.
tag team
My point.
championships, then you consider them a tag team. I think it's that. You know.
My point.
Good
Two
brothers.
people defending it at all times. That's called a tag team.
Right.
That's not
Regardless-
freebirding it.
Regardless, I know there's more, but if
Yeah,
if they
but
have
as
the
a
belt,
faction
they
as a
defend
whole,
the belt.
Undisputed Era is better than just the tag team.
So you're considering Beer Money, who was in Fortune, to be freebirding it? They weren't a tag team.
no,
Even though
I'm
they're
not.
part of the
No,
stable?
no, you're no.
That's the same thing.
no, no,
Round
they're not.
3, fight.
Not even under the same award yet.
You're taking.
Oh
this to
wait,
an
what about
extreme.
the Four Horsemen? You know, they had their
I'm
tag
gonna
team.
unplug your mic in a second.
All right, we're canning this. So Jimmy, do you have a pick?
No, so I'm.
You're gonna go with-
Unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to go with Undisputed Era. But
Oh, so shut up.
I don't. I don't
No,
qualify
the B
that.
team. Go with the B team.
Uncle Ernest, what is your pick?
Oh, I had
B team.
Undisputed Era.
Okay.
I just wanted to do the B team because it's hilarious. That's why.
Okay. And what's
Also,
your
that's
Alyssa?
still a stupid name.
Let's just get
so.
through this.
I mean, I just had the Usos or the New Day because this was before I knew that we could choose someone from NXT.
That's
so,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, Undisputed Era. Let's move on.
Yeah, please.
Let's move on fast. Female wrestler of the year.
Oh man, this one was a tough.
Who's starting?
So not Canadian.
Not me.
Jo-
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I put down Becky Lynch, but Ronda just as much like. Ugh. That's why it was tough for me because it was either Becky Lynch or Ronda Rousey, one of the two, and I was just like.
I know which one you two are gonna pick.
Do you actually?
Yeah,
I don't think you do.
You might.
Charlotte.
Charlotte Flair. she
Yeah, I
She
can get that.
might
I can get
just be
Charlotte.
the best women's wrestler in
and she
WWE
took
history.
the stiffest bump out of anyone at TLC.
I think she
Or maybe
earned
Mandy Rose.
the right to be called
Not Mandy Rose,
maybe
Liv
best
Morgan.
women in WWE history.
I'm gonna-
after TLC.
I think I'm gonna go with Uncle Ernest. So Becky Lynch had that.
what a
Of course
shocker!
you are. What a
What
shock.
a shocker! CJ's going Becky.
All right, so go back to like minute number 47 of my explanation of Becky. First time, maybe our hour and 3 minute of second explanation. Everyone knows about Becky Lynch. Everyone knows my reasoning. There's no doubt that who I would have picked for female wrestler of the year.
Yeah, I think the argument again is when we go back to when you look at the entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Becky has
She
not
really
had
came on
the
at the end of
impact
August.
that
Impact?
Ronda and Charlotte have had year-round.
Overall year impact would be Charlotte. Best impact would be Becky. My argument.
Best isolated impact.
Not
yes.
isolated,
Well,
but
'cause-
No,
continued
best
momentum.
impact then in that case will probably go to Ronda.
Well, right. If you
Yeah,
want to look
if
at
you
it,
want
that
Best
way.
singular impact would be Ronda.
Right. If you want to look at it, but if we're talking
already
about
gave
the
him
If you talk about the
entire
year, exactly. You want to talk about the year.
And we're not
like,
just
I can
doing
see
impact.
Charlotte.
We're talking about the wrestler, in the ring, everything. Because whether you like it or not, even though Becky might be more popular, Charlotte is better in the ring.
But Becky's
That's
getting
the
more.
reality.
My thing is Becky's getting more support than most of the men on the roster. She's one of the
But
most
that's
over.
That's now. That's the thing. That's
Right.
happening within the past couple of months.
year-round
ago.
Charlotte puts on
Exactly, yeah.
incentive.
Charlotte is the Roman Reigns of the women's division. She doesn't get enough. She doesn't get enough attention because everyone thinks she's being crammed down their throat. But in the end,
You're
had
using my logic
quality-
against me,
Yeah,
and I
actually-
know
I actually-
that
I
she is the
actually had
knockoff John Cena.
She's had quality matches throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would even
Carmella.
argue she's a little better than Roman because Roman's very good in the ring. I think Charlotte's great
Sorry,
in
what
the
was
ring.
that?
I think Charlotte's
Well,
awesome.
Roman
did you say
Reigns
about
is Roman Reigns is more specific with his matches. Like his hardcore matches are fantastic. Once you throw rules out the window, he is great. His single matches can go either way.
Right. I feel like Charlotte consistently can just put it on.
Yeah.
She got a good match. Out of
It
Carmella.
depends. It depends. It
Like,
depends on
even
who.
Carmella was-
Because she also has to be matched too. If you're versing someone like Asuka, yeah, or Becky, but if you're versing someone like Carmella or
But
the
it was still a
Iconics,
good. I mean, you can't do much with the.
and also she,
Iconics, to be
she
honest.
also wasn't there for a solid amount of time as well. That entire program between Asuka into SummerSlam, she wasn't there. She wasn't there for
Or
the
she had
entire.
that. Didn't she have that boob job? or
Yeah, she had the
whatever it
boob
was,
job.
breast-
She had
Because
good
she popped
job
the
fit.
tit.
She popped the tit.
Popped the tit.
So
All right, so
so she also wasn't there.
that's
for-
true.
So
That's a good point. But still, I think the
the impact that she had popped a tit. So
So we have two Becky and two Charlotte.
Yep.
so
I said Becky though.
you said Becky.
I did.
There we go.
And then
Jimmy,
This one's actually tough.
Lana.
No,
Rusev and Omega.
no, because this one's actually tough. Because I was
That's
also
fair.
thinking of like Shayna Baszler because she had a really
That-
good,
yeah.
she had a really good run this year.
She did, but she was better as a challenger.
I thought
True,
about- I
I'll
thought
give you
about
that,
Kairi
but
Sane.
it was
Yeah.
still good.
I thought about
Kairi
Kairi
Sane.
Sane.
Kairi Sane's so kawaii.
Kairi Sane was okay.
She was kawaii. It's Japanese.
My
thing.
thought, well,
Thank you.
this is not gonna be for the year, just for like, I think just good going into following year for I think possible contender for Women of the Year next year would be Toni Storm, but
Yeah.
Toni Storm has a
Sure.
great future. Yes.
Won the
she has a
Young
great
Classic.
future, which is why I was like, man, I really wish it was her year, but it's not. But yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to Charlotte though on this one.
Charlotte.
So we split.
Overall on the
Split.
overall on the year, Charlotte had.
So we
got to
do a
Becky.
revote. Does anyone
No.
waver? Does
No, not-
anyone
No, we have
change?
to.
I don't
We have to
waver.
duke it out. This is about
Or does anyone change after hearing what anyone's heard? Is anyone
Becky.
flipping?
Becky again. I think going on with Joe and Jared is like.
But
she
Charlotte-
had a good last leg of the year though.
Right.
But we're
That's
also
the
looking
thing.
at it wrestling wise, like character wise. Charlotte has also, she was also the baby face that got booze. Like she
And,
became.
and
But now
Becky
she
got this
changed.
heel
But now
that
she-
got
no, yeah.
cheered. What's
But now
yeah,
she
after
changed.
after she started
And when
emulating
Becky
more
was what
Becky.
she was getting nowhere, and then she changed. So
Yeah, but Becky was never even really a heel. Like she was never really confirmed. You would think that, but you could also be a frustrated face.
Well, she also was. She was
No,
definitively
she was a heel, and she also
then
punched
For like
several
2
baby-
weeks.
Yeah, and then she also punched several baby faces in the
right.
face.
The
Like,
crowd
let's-
changed that, but
She punched everybody.
No, Nia Jax's fist changed that.
Yeah.
That is Jackson.
But like with Charlotte too, we consider her the Roman Reigns of the women's division. She also started getting Roman Reigns like reactions.
Okay, what's wrong with that though? You're just
But not
arguing
the-
about how fans reacted
but
to it,
which-
but you
which-
can't argue with
right.
the consistency of what she's.
But you
had
can't
throughout
argue
the
with
year.
consistency of Becky either.
Yeah, but the
Becky was
consistency started at that
not for
last
the
leg of the
entire
year.
Not for the entire year. She has not been consistent.
No, but she's.
And see, the thing is that then we have to go back to what I said earlier with. the
So are
letdown
you
of the year.
wavering?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna waver because it has to be the full year.
There
and
was
with
a time
Charlotte,
where Becky
okay,
was
Charlotte
MIA.
did have a big year. Started off as champion, defeated Asuka for like
Right.
ended her undefeated streak.
Then she lost-
popped a tit, and then basically
No, but then-
yeah.
But then she also
very
lost.
notable. Goodness, was that part of the script?
She also lost to Carmella, the first, Jimmy's pick for being the first women to lose her Money in the Bank cash in. and then
that's also- but also
she
that's a
also had a
gimmick.
terrible
Yeah,
match
yeah.
against Carmella, and then she was gone from what was that? That was April to about August. So that was 4 months. So a third of the year she was gone.
Yeah, but there was a time of the year where Becky Lynch was MIA.
Right.
She was doing a movie.
And there wasn't even an injury.
She was doing a movie. Yes,
Yeah, but like
she was gone during that same span. Then.
Not even then. Even with so you
They
have,
barely focused on her.
right. So you have the movie, and then when she was there, what was happening in the beginning of the year with her? Zero. Nothing.
No, Royal Rumble. She was prepping for that. A lot of people were saying she would be.
Her and Sasha were the first two entrants, and
She was. Yeah.
Becky got out before Sasha did. So
Yeah,
what's your
I
point?
mean, it's you got to look at it for the full year, and especially you kind of.
I'm going with the hardest impact.
You kind of canceled yourself out by saying that Becky's also was out for the movie because that was
I
your
just
biggest
think
argument.
I think that Charlotte, she had a great year. I think Becky overall had like the best year as a female wrestler. Overall.
She had the most concentrated impact.
Yes.
Most concentrated impact, but you
the
got to
full
look.
But that
year-
impact, that sent waves throughout both of the women's divisions.
Yeah.
Where she's actually on par and more than likely changing the WrestleMania women's match to be the main event. She's forcing herself in unlike anything we've ever seen.
But I
Well,
also think,
let's-
I also
hold
think
on, if
Charlotte
you're-
kind of did that also with Survivor Series. I don't think anyone expected,
Exactly.
But what I'm
Look at that. She's changing WWE programming.
No.
Hard.
well, let's also not forget that Roman Reigns is not in the picture, and that does have an effect on this. Let's not forget that.
No, but the thing is, Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair were in the cards for WrestleMania 35 main event.
Yes, but we had no idea that was going to be the case.
Look, the
If
only person
if
that-
Roman Reigns was still in the picture, there would have been a possibility that wasn't gonna
Only if
happen.
he was versing The Rock. Only if he was versing The Rock.
And we don't know if that was
No,
going to
yeah,
happen
I
though,
don't-
because he's not in the picture.
I agree with Jimmy. I see what he's saying there.
But the last thing to do would be a WrestleMania women's main event.
which I think that we're gonna get.
Yes, and especially with a hot New York, New Jersey crowd, we would get that.
There's
And
already a rumor that Charlotte has already been booked as she will main event the pay-per-view.
Whether she faces Ronda by herself or
Or
faces
Becky
both.
or all,
I
both
think
of
Becky's
them.
forcing it in, which means like her impact this year is just bigger since SummerSlam compared to
right since SummerSlam. That's
Yeah, but that's half a year. But that half of the year
and I
was
think,
more.
I think the
than
biggest thing that
Charlotte's
we
full
need to look
year.
at is not just about impact. We also have to look at just the skill of the wrestler. When you look back at TLC, in my opinion, it was Charlotte's match. What she was able to do, what the bump she took, the spear through
yeah,
the
but I would
barricade,
make. Well,
just
this is just me being devil's advocate on this.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
make the same argument that Becky, in the same sense, at Evolution at their TLC match. So
she brought it hard.
she
with
brought
that.
it real hard, and we were there live. She
I
brought
felt like
it hard.
was more. I felt like the schism was closer though. I felt like Becky was.
Well,
it was
Becky
more
also-
Becky's match, and it was
Becky
also
also had a concussion too. She was
it
still
was-
recovering
it
from
was
that.
also scripted for Becky's match. Like this was Becky's match. This was it. This was where. And granted, they went back to a Becky Charlotte feud, but
I will say this: if it was booked differently of how the belts
if she was
kind of
pushed
interchange
after
between.
Mania, then 100% I give it to Becky.
right. But it's just I think it's a little too late for 20.
If-
She very well might be the 2019 female of the year the way it's going.
Did we just do it as a split, Charlotte
Yeah,
Becky?
we
Because
might
I don't
have
think
to.
anyone.
We might have to
know.
split it because it's hard to
I think-
waiver.
Well, unless you
I don't know. Uncle
flip.
Ernest starting to waver.
You both
I'm
are.
starting to
Well,
waver.
I just want to make one last point on this. Like that during that leg of like Becky winning the belt and everything. If it was booked differently, where Becky was appearing to win it and won it at Evolution, that would have made a huge. I think it would have made a much bigger.
I
difference.
don't think so.
Yes, it would have.
No.
And also, if that match, ended the pay per view, it would have been different.
I
Round
think
Yes,
four.
because it was a crowning achievement of a new champion being crowned.
Good.
I feel like
Huge
you're taking
belt.
that away from Shayna Baszler then,
Let
because
the
she
hate
also had.
go
But
through
that
you.
wasn't the best match on the card, and don't
Strike
tell me that
me
it was.
down.
I think that how they did it was fine. Becky going full force after SummerSlam.
Yeah, and you could have done that with Becky not going in as champion.
I
I'm
think
confused.
I think it was
I'm
fine. I think it was fine. I think the way they did it was perfect.
All right, so either one of you two wavering.
I'm not wavering. I'm still sticking with Charlotte.
He's not talking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I'll move to Charlotte.
Damn it.
All
It's
right, so
fine.
Probably move to Charlotte.
So
as well.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Did Becky Lynch win anything?
Evolution, technically, but
Yeah, Evolution. There you
All
go.
right.
She's in
So
there.
male wrestler of the year, the man, Becky Lynch.
CJ, enough. You're lost.
That's fair. This one was a toughie because none of them had really stuck out to me.
I'm going. with
yeah,
AJ.
as
I'm
soon as
going with-
Roman Reigns kind of went, I hate saying that, as soon as like he kind of went down,
Yeah.
I'm going. With AJ
none of
Styles.
the men stepped up between
You're gonna
Roman leaving and then
You're gonna go AJ?
Yeah, I think.
I would have said Seth Rollins if his TLC match with Ambrose was better. I think it took away.
Yeah, I mean, he's regardless of whether the bookings were bad with his nut shots and all that. When you just put him in the ring, you have him do what he's got to do.
AJ has proven he can have a good match with a wet paper bag.
Yeah, there's no bad match. He's good on the mic. It really is. SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built.
Yeah.
Whether Daniel Bryan has the belt or not.
Okay.
It's AJ Styles.
Rollins
I don't.
is close for me, but
Rollins is close. You have to put in Reigns, I think.
Braun
And I
Strowman.
think you have to think about Strowman also. But at the end of the day, you got a guy that held the belt for, what was it,
Brock
371
Lesnar.
days.
can Brock Lesnar win most overrated?
And I think he
male
deserved
wrestler of
every,
the year?
I think he deserved every day of it. So it's AJ Styles for me. Who are you?
Melissa?
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
AJ? Uncle Ernest?
I went with the Miz.
Again?
Yes. No, I
Again?
said
What,
Miz
oh, you
is
did that
my-
last year?
You did that last year.
Yeah,
He's
I did
great.
that.
Well, hold on.
I think if
let
you
me-
put,
let-
okay, you put the same argument with AJ, you could put the same exact argument with the Miz.
What about his Super
Not
Showdown
quite
match
as
against
much in
Daniel
the ring,
Bryan?
I think. That's. I think.
I
what
thought
about-
I thought that was
Or what
good.
about his mixed
It was
match
8
challenge
seconds.
I
failure
don't
with
care.
Oscar?
It was good.
What about losing to a jobber like a couple weeks ago?
I don't give a crap.
You're just going to keep going with this until someone agrees with you, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But also, like, okay, but if you look at the impact the Miz had, period, not just wrestling wise. Okay, if you ask a casual fan out there, who do you know? Who are these two people? You put up a picture of AJ Styles and the Miz. More likely, they're going to say the Miz.
Well, the argument there is though the Miz has been there for much longer.
Well,
But he's
not
also
even
more
just that.
exposed, too.
Yeah.
So I think that like the Miz definitely this year had a big impact on the Miz. I think like he had a I think he had a great feud with Daniel Bryan. He had a great like
Well, I think the Miz is great. I love.
yeah
the
like
Miz.
the Royal Rumble he was amazing at. Elimination Chamber, even though he's like what second or third eliminated, like he was
Something like that.
Like he was something in the beginning there. He still had a big impact there. Had a fantastic. He was part of probably the best WrestleMania match this year.
Oh, the triple threat, right?
Yeah,
the
that
triple
one was
threat
really good.
that opened the show. That was an
That was a very
amazing
good
match there.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah, just like I'm still going with us.
And if you want to go, and the thing is, like with AJ, he had a bad feud with Shinsuke, but that's not his fault. It's
Right,
like,
that's what's
yeah.
right.
So, but,
I like
I
how
see-
the Miz to you is Becky Lynch to me.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's like,
It is.
I think the biggest thing with the Miz is the fact that just how many times he can lose. You know what I mean? Like that's actually a testament to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
he
exact-
lose so many
he doesn't
times.
exact
need
difference
wins.
between him and Cien Almas. Just
Yeah.
he doesn't need wins. He will always be relevant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Always,
exactly, yeah.
Despite the losses. So I definitely see your
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Alyssa? Anyone else?
Well, she said AJ.
Oh,
Styles.
AJ?
Just, Jimmy?
Rusev?
yeah, none of the after Roman kind of
Yeah.
went out, none of the men stepped up, and I'm a little ashamed. I'm a little sad about that, but I mean, the one person. No, I can't even say that because it wasn't even in the span of a year. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to give it to Styles. Like that's just.
I've been going back and forth for this for a while. I had Styles. I had The Miz. I in the end result, I put Rollins because I feel like Rollins in the time that Brock was still Universal Champion, he carried it as the Intercontinental Champion. He carried it, and his match consistency has been fantastic. Granted, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I think that's the killer when you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're splitting
Exactly,
hairs
yeah.
between Styles and Rollins, who are I guess the faces of the company. You have to look at the entire year. And
I just know that
he
Rollins
just had
also
a big old dud.
Rollins would be more of the person that would carry the company over AJ Styles. As a whole, I feel like the WWE would be more likely to back up Rollins.
That's-
Well, it's also
'Cause
they
he's
did, but the thing is
WWE
also with
bred and
Well, it's also the thing with
No,
Rollins is
ROH.
that Rollins did carry the company for
Yes.
a while,
And he did a great job.
and he did a great job of it.
But he was a
And-
heel, though.
What?
But
He's a heel,
now
though.
it's looking
Yeah.
like Rollins is going to challenge Brock.
It
with the Royal
looks
Rumble.
like- I mean,
Well,
we could get
He's
to
the
that
most
with
logical
with
challenger. Let's be
Yeah.
real here. Except for Drew McIntyre.
So there's a
by
couple-
some miracle Strowman beats Brock, and then you get. What I've heard is there's two plans: one that Triple H has, and one that Vince McMahon has. The Triple H plan is Brock keeps it until Mania and loses it to Rollins. The Vince McMahon plan is Strowman beats Lesnar at the Rumble and faces McIntyre at WrestleMania.
Both of those are good plans.
That's actually
Both of
that's
those
actually
are
pretty
fine.
good plans.
Neither one is a bad plan, and both are very. It all depends on
Like
who
those-
wins in Strowman Lesnar, and then who wins the Rumble.
But the
Well,
thing
see,
is,
see, it's also like those two matches can be WrestleMania. They probably are WrestleMania matches. It's just a stipulation.
yes.
That's
And
what it
what's
is- that's
what?
what it
Yeah,
is.
what's brought onto it? You know, are they fighting for a championship? Are they fighting for retirement?
Right, so Joe, you went with Styles, right?
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal.
So
So Styles, I think, is taking
Heath
it.
Slater. We're all forgetting about Heath Slater.
Oh no, Kurt Hawkins. So
yeah.
He's
Best
still-
I think
streak.
is his streak still alive?
Yes.
yeah,
Streak's still alive.
Yep.
Heath Slater is a great wrestler and a great referee, so he's most versatile.
Also, during that
And he
whole
has
span
kids,
of that
so-
month, his is the only storyline that was actually consistent.
Throwing in my hat for Rhino.
And he's a one-man band. You can't forget about that.
You got kids.
Double
All
wide,
right,
baby.
so that's it.
Enzo Amore.
Yeah. No. All right, so AJ Styles.
All right.
AJ
So
Styles.
let's go through the list of who's won what for the Markies.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Okay, so going from the bottom,
Now
biggest
we're here.
letdown of the year was most of the NXT call-ups of 2018.
Yeah.
Rookie signing of the year, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Heel of the year, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes.
Babyface of the year, AJ Styles.
That
makes
sense.
NXT Wrestler of the Year, Johnny Gargano. Pay-per-view of the year is Evolution. Most underrated wrestler of the year is Finn Balor. Most overrated is Brock Lesnar. Moment of the year was Daniel Bryan's return. Match of the year was Gargano and Ciampa take over New Orleans. Championship of the year was the NXT Championship. Tag team was Undisputed
B-team.
Era. Female wrestler of the year is Charlotte. And for the second year in a row, AJ Styles wins male wrestler of the year.
Oh, he was it last
He was at that
Yeah,
last
he was
year.
He's the
well,
first,
last year he also had
like
a
we
great-
all had the same picks that we had last year with that.
I put Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that's true.
he is the first ever two-time Marquee winner.
Actually, no, I don't think so. I think
Okay,
Yeah,
let's not
he
do
is.
this.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had other categories and
Oh yeah, NXT wrestler last year was
no, we'll save that for
yeah,
I think
NXT
end of the year question.
NXT wrestler last year was Aleister Black. So, yeah.
He could have been two-time, but no, nobody listens to the Fudge Man.
Nah, he's the brains behind the operation.
I'm the
Jesse and
You're something.
Fergus.
Festus.
There you go.
Fergus.
Festivus?
All right.
Seinfeld.
So,
No, just me.
like we try and do at the end of the year, we try and look into the future. See what do we want to see?
Well, before we get into that, there's a couple other questions, like because we kind of like forgot about the indie stuff. I don't know how much you watch the indies or pay attention to
Not much,
anything.
but you can
Throw it.
All
throw
right.
it at me.
Because there's a couple other moments that I kind of want to talk about for the indie stuff. Because we, oh, don't give me that. We've watched probably one of the best pay-per-views of the year, All In.
Ow!
You didn't like All In?
I did love All In. I
Okay.
just didn't want to talk about it.
How do you not want to talk about it?
Well, also you got to remember Omega and Jericho in the beginning.
Omega,
of the,
yeah, we also
Wrestle
talked
Kingdom,
about that.
Another 5-star match.
We also talked. We
Chris
also
Jericho probably is like wrestler of the year.
Yeah, that's
He
what I was gonna
really
say. If you put
is.
indie
Always
wrestler
done.
of the year, it's Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking at just a global wrestler, like it is Chris Jericho.
That match, what was it? What was it? A 2 out of 3 falls, no time limit match with Omega and Okada, which went
You
to
went,
like
at
an
7
hour.
stars from Meltzer or something.
Fucking broke the scale again.
and Omega won the heavyweight
Yes.
title belt.
Which we don't know what the hell's going on, but there's a lot of good things that are going on to indie wrestling, which we can segue this into 2019. You know,
Yeah, now we can
2018
talk
we
about
saw the rise of Omega as the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. We saw the Bullet Club disband. It's become fully into New Japan. So there was that faction warfare. We saw Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks established All In, the first ever independent wrestling show. To get, what was it, over 10,000 seats, right? They
Yep,
sold
and
10,000
they,
seats
and they did that within 30 minutes of them selling tickets.
under 30 minutes. So right now, and then you also have the Jericho Cruise. So there's been a lot of huge events for independent wrestling as a whole. This upcoming year is no exception. We have
This year's gonna be crazy.
We have the Garden, which was sold out. It was an ROH New
yeah,
Japan
that one.
super card.
It's happening in a couple days. It's happening at the end.
It's
of the
it's happening WrestleMania weekend, which
WrestleMania
we did
weekend, my
talk
bad.
about this. We think that the reason why they moved NXT TakeOver to Friday is because they would not have to compete with Ring of Honor and MSG. Cody Rhodes commented on this, saying that the only reason why this is selling out is because it's WrestleMania weekend. What are
Oh,
your
yeah.
thoughts on this?
They're both very valid points. Both very, very valid points on why. But also, the ROH, what was it? ROH and New Japan Supercard?
Yes.
I think like ROH and New Japan alone, the name alone was going to sell out that place.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if you had it on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. It was going to sell out that place.
Okay.
And they put it on Saturday just to compete solely with NXT TakeOver. Because if you're not going to put it on Sunday, no way you're going to put it the same day as WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No one's going to watch that. So what's your next best thing? Go after what WWE considers the independent equivalent to everything else. So that's why they made it Saturday. But no matter what day you put it in, you could have put it the same day as the Hall of Fame. It would have sold out no matter what. You could have put it on like the middle of the summer. You could put it like pick any day of the year. It would have sold out no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
there's
think they
nothing
have
else-
to-
I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's something that we can look forward to in the future. If ROH and New Japan they put on a great show, we could expect to see more, Ring of Honor, New Japan programming and pay-per-view quality shows at MSG, because it looks like that they took the show from WWE's MSG. They're really moving into the territory, so we could really see a lot of independent wrestling versus WWE, which is exciting. And there's also rumors of Cody Rhodes starting his own promotion, All Elite Wrestling, which I feel like if they were to do that, I feel like Ring of Honor New Japan would lose a lot of stars. What's everyone's thoughts on that?
I agree.
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Will there's still a lot of questions if it can materialize. We'll see. If it can, obviously, it's going to garner a lot of attention. We'll see what happens.
See, what I think is that like that might happen. It will be experimented, and then it would kind of turn into something like NWO.
Yes.
It will be within the fraction of it, and then you have a separate AEW pay-per-view.
That would be
will
good.
be the final nail that kills Impact Wrestling. And
How many nails have been put
screw
into
that.
this thing?
Impact will never die.
It's like Janice, except it's
it's gonna
still
live for-
alive. You know,
It's like a
Dead and
cockroach.
gone. There's only going to be two promotions: WWE and TNA.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Mick Foley. No matter how many times you throw him off that fucking cell,
He's still
comes
gonna-
back.
He's going to outlive all of us.
He really will.
All right, so you
All
want to
right.
get into our questions for the?
well, I mean, what else are we looking forward to in 2019? I mean, I think this Fox deal, I think is going to
The
be
Fox deal, I'm excited for. I'm
yeah.
excited to see
Yeah,
how they go.
definitely the Fox deal.
Daniel Cormier possibly being an announcer for SmackDown.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're trying to get
Would
Cormier.
see Conor McGregor in a WWE
Yes,
ring sometime
McGregor.
next year.
I'm excited to see how this WrestleMania plays out, because this main event is really what's keeping me going right now, because I want to see how
This
this,
is the
plays
first pay per view in what 4-5 years without Roman? 4,
out. Since WrestleMania, he's been on every single card since WrestleMania 29.
29. So about 5.
He's main evented since 31.
So
Yeah, I
about
think
5.
the biggest thing to look forward to really is just the women's division.
Yes.
Most notably, obviously, Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda. Just the three of them tearing it up. I mean, those three women, they're probably the best thing in WWE right now. I
Yes.
mean, there's no question about it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this, how long they pull it out, because you don't want to run into that risk of, okay, WrestleMania, you have your triple threat, and I guarantee you there may still be more matches. You don't want to do that. So I'm curious to see where they go. But right now it's very exciting.
I'm thinking it's gonna be WrestleMania women's main event, and I'm more than likely what I'm thinking right now. It's gonna be a singles match, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be Becky Ronda.
I think it's
good.
honestly, I think it should be a singles match. I think the person women's matches at Mania kind of getting tiring. They're not. It's not like they're bad. It's just getting tiring to watch. When's the last time we saw a singles match for the women?
Yeah. Well, we saw it last year.
Nia Alexa.
Charlotte
Nia
Alexa.
Alexa
Oh, yeah,
and
but that
Charlotte
one.
Asuka.
Yeah, but that one.
Yeah, so
it was okay, and it was.
So they were both
it-
singles.
yeah,
matches.
pretty much
You want
all
to talk about in
arguments
poor
null and void,
taste,
Jimmy.
You want to talk about in poor taste? I mean, that was about body shaming. It was in poor
Well,
taste.
Charlotte Asuka, I mean, that's
And Nia
forget
is
the.
now a heel at Brick's faces.
I
Everyone
think
grew.
that these are the three best wrestlers. I think it's just deserving that these.
It's gonna be a combination of the three that's gonna main event.
I'm expecting a triple threat. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting it until TLC just happened.
Yeah.
And after what just happened, I think we're definitely.
Well, Ronda
pushing
still
towards
needs
it.
a challenger. That's the fun part. And Charlotte's free.
We'll see.
It could be the three of them. It
I
could be
could
the
see
three of
Sh-
them all the way through.
I could also
started
see
out
Charlotte-
at
be the three
Royal
of them
Rumble,
straight
then
through.
go to elimination, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
I can also see Charlotte. I could also see Charlotte jumping over to Raw and just attacking Ronda.
I expect both
And then
Charlotte
Ron-
and Becky to jump.
Yeah,
over
but I
her.
could see that, and then you can have that match between Ronda and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
You
There's
know,
many.
There's a lot.
there's a
yeah.
lot of avenues. That's what's
and I
exciting.
think they're
about
all
this.
going to be great, regardless. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I'm sure WWE will find it, but
what else do I? Anyone? All right. So anyone else have anything for 2019 they expect? I have a couple of things.
I can't wait to not see Brock Lesnar.
I was just
in
about to
2019
say,
again.
I don't know if I'm expecting it, but I want Brock on.
I want to see more blending of the 205 live roster
Yes.
with the main roster. Mustafa Ali proved he can hang with Daniel Bryan. Get some of the guys in there.
Is Daniel Bryan like the cure to 205 Live's whole
Yes.
problem that we've been
Possible.
wanting
Probably,
to?
yeah, that
We all
probably
thought it was
is.
going to be Neville or Enzo Amore. It turned out it was just going to be Daniel Bryan. We talked about it. Yeah, we thought when Enzo first debuted and had that promo, which actually was good.
Yeah.
We thought that he was an answer, but it turns out he was
It pains
More
me
of
to
a
say
problem.
this.
more of a problem.
More of a problem.
Because he's my favorite ever. I hope this is the last year of The Undertaker.
Yes.
I hope he gets
Me too.
one final, good match, whether it's against John Cena or whoever, and gets to ride off into the sunset, get put in the Hall of Fame like he deserves, and just kind of.
It needs to.
I'm expecting major roster cuts. I'm expecting because one thing that Jimmy and we talked about last year. Jimmy was excited to see how the pay-per-view schedule would be because it was shortening from 17 to 14. Obviously, we did not get that because it was still 17 because you added Super Showdown, Crown Jewel,
you
and
added Saudi Arabia, which no one expected until what?
No
After
one-
Mania.
no one
That
was-
one
There's
was a
gonna be two
complete
more
surprise.
shows
It's
in
like,
2019.
what?
They
happened?
added 3 more shows.
Oh, good.
Oh wait, 2019 they added 2 more shows.
I heard
They only added 2.
So
They only
it's
added
at
2.
16 then, technically. All right,
man.
so I'm not looking.
Yeah,
forward
but
to
I'm
that.
abstaining from any Saudi Arabia show.
Yeah, that's
Just
all crap.
Fair.
like I'll if there's clips and
Well, it's a lot harder
small
when it's-
YouTube
when it's a
things, maybe,
Friday,
but I'm
1
not
in the
watching the
afternoon.
pay-per-view. I'm not.
I'm expecting roster cuts though. The rosters are too bloated, and I'm expecting a lot of NXT cuts as well. Recently, I think it was Nick Miller. He requested his release. He was one half of the Mighty in NXT. He's gone.
That could have been a great tag team too, but
Yeah, whatever. I didn't like them. They looked
Oh,
stupid.
God, let's not
But,
stay on course.
No, but the point is, I think I'm expecting a lot of major roster cuts between NXT and WWE, especially with the merging of the brands, because I'm expecting by SmackDown it's going to be much more fluid, as the pay-per-views they're already fluid as is. And if you're going to have all these shows, I think you're more than likely going to have to do some major roster cuts.
Yeah. And hopefully the NXT call-ups actually work this year.
I think they need to cut some NXT call-ups that they had recently too. Like No Way Jose definitely should be
That was a
Who?
joke.
Who?
exactly.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah, he's gone.
Woo! It doesn't even, and that literally has nothing to do with like WWE messed him up. No, that was dead on arrival.
gimmick-
That was an
That had
NXT
on the
DOA.
main
no
roster,
shot.
yes, it worked in NXT. It worked in
Just
Orlando.
like Adam Rose worked in it.
Exactly. I was
I
about
think-
to say that. Yeah, Adam
I-
Rose
I-
is the same thing.
But
He's
once I
basically
saw
Adam
No
Rose.
Way Jose, I'm like, this has no chance.
I
in
expect
hell.
Jinder to be gone too by next year.
Darn.
Please.
Oh, darn.
Please.
Not gender.
Why is he
The
lose-
disappointment.
is he
Can
gonna
you
lose
see
his
it on my
Future
face?
endeavored a
Did he lose
second
his
time?
needle?
Mojo is probably going to be gone too, especially after his comments.
But one more Hype Bros reunion?
Nah, I want
Where
Major
is Zack
Brothers
Ryder?
injured.
Still?
Yeah.
No,
God,
he put up a video of him at a live event.
Oh, all right. So he's
So
back.
just
I
not
want
there.
Major Brothers reunion. I want Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, and then they still lose. But
But at least
Kurt
they'll be
Hawkins
fine
can't
and they're
even win
friends,
Zack
and it's like
Ryder.
better than Mojo.
B team, I expect to be gone.
No.
No,
I don't
BT
Get
won't be
rid of
gone.
They're not going to get rid of Curtis Axel. and Bo
Maybe
Dallas.
Bo Dallas.
They're
then.
not going to get.
I
they're
Bo
not
Bo
getting
Dallas
rid of
is a solid maybe.
I could see
I
the
wouldn't say
revival.
Curtis
I can't-
Axel wouldn't. His dad just died. They're not getting rid of Curtis Axel.
His
dad's
dad's
been dead.
His grandpa
Oh, his
died.
grandpa, right? His
That's
grandpa. Well, his
different.
dad is dead.
There's
dead.
still the Mr. Perfect 2 storyline. It's waiting to be written.
I could
By
see
the-
someone
Well, they
that's not
tried to
Curtis
do that.
Axel.
They tried that with Curtis Axel. Like the first,
Paul
I feel like
Heyman
the first
couldn't spin it.
incarnation was Mr. Perfect 2. And they put like Paul Heyman with him, so that way at least it gets him some work, gets the rub off of him. But that obviously we can see how that panned out. So
I could see the revival being gone, probably on their own terms, but I can see them being gone this year.
That's
they just
it's
got a
really
title
sad because
shot,
they
so.
they really deserve better. They
do.
So did-
deserve-
so
regardless
did
of
Neville.
booking,
So
one of
did
the best
so
tag
did
teams
Neville.
in the
Neville
world.
didn't deserve what he got. He got probably
Alright,
the
Neville
dirtiest.
lose to Enzo. Ferrari?
Any championships we're expecting to? I'm expecting Finn Balor to be Intercontinental Champion.
There's
next
going to
year.
be a women's tag team championship next year.
That I'm wanting to see so
That's gonna
badly.
happen.
yeah.
Who should be inaugural women's tag team champion?
Sasha.
probably Sasha
and
Bailey.
Bailey.
Yeah.
I guess that's like your.
I was gonna
God's
throw.
sakes, give these two something to do.
I was gonna
no
do
more
it-
open forums.
I kind of wanted Riot Squad.
No more. What is it?
I think Riot
counseling?
Squad can.
No more counseling.
But
more of that.
Take it anymore.
but Sasha and Bailey have to be
Yeah.
at least like either not like a tag team together or separate.
I'm
Do
also
something with them. Have a
exactly,
feud.
yeah.
Sasha
I'm also
turn heel. Be a
Speaking of
tag
the
team.
women, I'm expecting Riot Squad to break off, and I'm expecting Ruby Riot to go off on her own and challenge the Raw Women's Champion
Yeah, she
and
needs
win
to
it
push.
by the
Yeah,
end of the
Ruby
year.
does
I'm
need
expecting
that.
a push
She
by
is
the end of the year.
I'm gonna throw Jimmy a bone. Rusev, United States champion.
Yeah,
Has to
I
happen.
mean, it's got to happen. Right?
Well, there
One
is
point it will, yeah.
like a
Yeah, 'cause-
championship match next week.
The Hardys one more tag title run.
No, I'm done with that. I think Matt Hardy's gone.
Matt Hardy is
Matt Hardy's
literally
coming back.
broken.
He's coming back.
Jeff Hardy, I think, should retire too. I think he's done. I think
Batista, one
he's
more match.
They're both
Batista.
getting
I
in
want to
there,
see
and-
him. I want to see him have one more run with WWE.
Probably going to be against Triple H. Triple H will win.
It was gonna be against
Well,
Triple
his
H at
tit's gotta
Mania,
be
but
fixed
he
first,
popped
so
the
let's
He
tit
has,
let's
to
work
get,
on
minutes
that.
into
he
that
has to
match.
get his own titty fixed.
Yes, he has to
He
get
has
it.
to-
He has to get his own Charlotte,
He's got to
surgery
fix
going
his own
on.
titty first before
For
we can
God's
have
sake,
that.
let's put a title on Braun Strowman that doesn't involve a 10-year-old.
I'm gonna throw the. I'm gonna throw a.
Fucking Nicholas.
I'm gonna throw a bone here. I'm thinking Matt Riddle NXT champion by next year.
I can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
I can agree with that.
definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I think Ricochet will not win the championship and will just get called up to the main roster.
Correct. I agree with that. I think
I don't want any of those guys leaving NXT. The second they leave,
He's the
it
gonna-
is
Ricochet's gonna
over.
leave NXT,
And he's
be
gonna
called
challenge
up.
Buddy
Probably
Murphy.
the day after WrestleMania. is
Yeah,
when he's gonna be
right.
called
Going
up.
right to a
Ricochet, Ciampa, and Gargano. Shove them all into the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
SmackDown Tag Team Division, The Reckoning is coming back, and they're taking their tag team titles.
Who's the Reckoning?
Fucking
Bludgeon Brothers.
Bludgeon
Oh.
Brothers. Joe and the Bludgeon Brothers.
I'm expecting a Wyatt family reunion, and I could see them as
I
a
just want to
face.
see Bray Wyatt.
I want to see them as a face.
I think
stable, though.
I think they're saving that for the Rumble.
We're-
I really
we're
do
gonna-
believe that.
We're gonna see the Bludgeon Brothers before we see Bray Wyatt.
I'm expecting them to be like a
Only
like a face
78
stable,
more
though.
cryptic tweets, and then I'll show up, guys.
I don't know. I want to see face stable. I want to see him go up against the McMahons, and then we get Bray Wyatt versus Triple H.
That would be cool too.
That would be.
That's a long wow. There's a lot
What
there.
is Harper and Rowan gonna do? They're gonna fight Shane and Vince.
Yes. Would you not enjoy that? The best in the world and the chairman of the WWE.
Luke Harper just clotheslined Vince McMahon's head into the freaking third row.
That's fine.
All Vince can
fine.
do is strut and stutter. I don't think he can wrestle anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Chairman of the board, he can do whatever he
Yeah,
wants. What are
right.
you talking
One
about?
headbutt from Kevin Owens, and he was dead for a week.
Yeah. He took that.
Yeah,
headbutt,
that's
though.
one thing I would like to see
took
more.
it.
Like when Kevin and Sammy come back,
Yes.
at least have them more integrated into the show, and not so much more.
Comedic value.
Yeah, exactly.
Shane McMahon, United States champion.
Yeah, prediction. Will Shane McMahon have a belt this year?
I can
Yes.
say
Yes.
I
could
think
see-
Tag
I
team
think so
champion.
too, yeah.
I'm saying tag team
It
championship.
looks like they're barreling towards it with the Miz. It's going to be something. He's going to have a belt. It could be for a day, but for this year, he's going to have a belt around him.
Yeah,
I want the return of the Hardcore Championship, personally.
I'm done with
That's
that.
not going
no.
to get.
that's not gonna
No,
happen.
there's too many
way.
belts. How about we consolidate some of the other
so
ones first?
any consolidation of belts. Personally, I'm thinking Intercontinental and United States.
Nah, you got
No,
to
you
keep,
can't. You
you
can't
gotta
have
keep
that.
two big belts and then the mid card belt.
No, I'm thinking the Universal
the two
Championship's
big
getting
belts need to go away. It
dissolved.
needs to be one big belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Universal
Two small
Championships
ones,
is becoming
one
defunct.
tag
Are
team.
they blending the?
So
are
wait
they
a minute.
definitely
You're telling
blending?
me they're just going to admit defeat after only a few years?
Yes.
I'm not saying they should. You think Vince is going to do that?
He already did it with Raw.
Vince is not doing that.
I think there's
He's
going
like,
to be
okay, guys, we'll give you what you want, but we're keeping this crappy red belt.
unification between at SummerSlam, and then it's going to be.
Drew
I would say
McIntyre.
Rollins, who is the Universal Champion at the time, WWE Champion. I'm gonna throw. Oh fuck, who's
Joe.
Yeah, Joe,
no.
Miz.
Maybe.
Well, it depends whoever wins
AJ
Mania,
takes
really.
it back.
Randy
Yeah.
Orton.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy, please.
That's
for
one guy who
God.
should retire, Randy Orton.
You won't.
But
I hate him.
Fine, he'll retire if you shake his hand.
Oh,
I don't
I hate him so
A
much.
new Randy Orton scandal in 2019.
He's
Most
such a
underrated,
douche.
Randy Orton.
Oh my god. I hate him so much.
Aiden English, I feel like is gonna get fired too. Actually,
Yeah, it's gonna
Hasn't
be
already?
Yeah.
He might.
um,
So that's pretty much it.
I want to see.
I mean, is there any
Mickey
wrestlers that we're
Rourke.
excited to see? I think we only talked about Matt Riddle. I think that was the
Matt
only-
Riddle's really the only one I'm excited for. Keith Lee.
I'm excited for Keith
Mean,
Lee.
I
Keith Lee,
guess.
I think, is the missing link between getting a second Vader, because I really do believe he has the athletic capabilities of doing that.
I
More
wanna
so than
see-
Braun Strowman.
Speaking of like big, I want to see Big E get a singles title.
Yeah, I want to see like
They're
I
never
want to
gonna get rid
see
of the
I want to
New
see
Day.
the
They're
new,
not
gonna break up the New
Day makes.
Yeah.
I want to see
there's
the
no
I want to see
way.
the New Day get a singles title. I want to see that.
I want to
dynamic.
see
I
them
think-
free
I don't
bird
know,
If
a
we're gonna
singles
give
title.
Kofi Kingston if we're gonna see Kofi Kingston get a WWE championship, it's gonna be with the New Day. That's what's gonna happen.
No,
The
see,
New
I
Day
think
will
that
never
will
break
happen.
up.
The New Day will get a singles title, but it'll be split among the 3 of them.
It'll
Exactly,
be
they're
freebird.
freebirding it.
Yeah.
That would be great.
They really-
Fine, you
yeah.
won the U.S. title, but you only pinned Xavier. You didn't pin me and Big E.
That would be great.
Or me,
That-
Kofi
Like you have
Kingston.
that, and then you have a gauntlet match.
No,
Like
then
you
you
start off with Xavier, then Kofi, then Big E.
or a handicap match.
Yeah, well, obviously that would be the easy way to go.
Yeah.
but gauntlet is just so much more better.
That would be
Oh
fun.
yeah, Gauntlet would be.
That would be fun. That would build someone up too.
Oh, exactly,
That would be
yeah.
a great way to build someone
Ricochet versus the New Day for what we'll say the U.S. title, just for
Yeah.
argument's sakes.
up. I think
In
the
a
tag
gauntlet
team
match.
championships and the women's titles are going to get unified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. And then they're going to make the tag team championships for the women.
So
too.
Ronda's gonna be the WWE Women's Champion. Who the fuck's taking that off her to unify?
Well, I mean, it's
Becky
possible
Lynch.
that Becky Lynch could probably take it off. We saw her just knock the
Do-
crap out of
all right,
Nia.
do
Let's
we-
not
do we
ignore
ex-
that.
Do we expect to see intergender matches in 2019?
There's something that they. There's
more
something that they.
mixed tag team matches.
More
Yeah,
mixed-
I would go
Mixed
more
tag,
mixed match.
Yes.
Okay.
Intergendered, no.
Do you
They've
think
actually said. I think there's been a thing where WWE like made a state. Like
Yeah, they
Made a
did. Hold on.
statement
We're
that
like,
they're
they're
not
not-
doing intergender because of Mattel.
Yeah,
that was it.
Mattel
Yeah.
doesn't want to do it.
What about
Yeah, yeah. Or if they do,
how-
it's going to be
how
with
about
James
this?
Ellsworth, and the woman's going to win.
Mixed-
No.
what if they do
no.
a mixed tag championship?
That's a possibility.
It's possible.
What do you think about that? Season
I don't
3.
think I don't think it will happen.
Nah,
Because the
especially
mixed match
'cause
challenge,
it's
like-
bombing.
Especially
Yeah,
now with
it's-
the-
Well, no, but if
How do you fix
give
that?
a belt on to the mixed match challenge, that's actually a better reason than just getting the 30th
Well, you can make that same argument with the cruiserweights, but
Yeah, but like if you have a men's tag team championship, a women's tag team championship, and
Yeah,
a
but
mixed
the
tag
matches
team
on
You
Mixed Match
could
Challenge
argue
are
that the mixed match
consistently better.
challenge was a way to gauge if they should create a belt, and it's
Yeah,
just failed
definitely,
so
yeah.
miserably that it's
yeah.
just like I don't think they. I don't.
Especially
Think
Like, it's a
since you
cool
put it
idea.
on freaking Facebook Watch. Who even
yeah,
does
right.
that?
Like who's? But wait, they get a vacation to Connecticut in the 30 spot,
Yeah,
and
because
people
our truth
still
is
those
don't
vignettes
care.
are going to be great.
Oh, there
Yeah, I
is
don't think
something.
it's going to be funny. I'm
There
not
is
gonna-
something
it is going to be funny.
WWE is possibly doing.
Oh,
They're
I heard
possibly
about
doing
that,
Queen
yeah.
of the Ring.
Queen
Oh,
of-
that would
yes,
be
it
good.
did.
That
I
would
want
be
to see
good. Yeah.
those. I want to see more tournaments in WWE on the main roster.
Just bring
'Cause
King of the Ring back.
King of the
No,
Ring,
they're not bringing that back.
Queen, no, I want to see that come
You
back.
might see Queen of the Ring, but I don't. They're not going to bring.
They're not going to
Have-
bring maybe King of the Ring just to kind of like.
Have the King and Queen of the Ring also win the number 30.
And then they have to get married.
That would be good.
on Raw after they
Well, yeah,
win.
because WWE
'Cause
weddings
Vince will
go
do that.
so well.
Because Vince will do that.
I would
and it's
like
going to be
that, though.
Nia Jax and Drake Maverick.
Oh God.
So wait,
Book it.
so wait, Mattel.
We'll get Drake a step stool. He'll get up there, kiss the bride. Got it.
That would be a
Figured
great
it
way
out,
to
guys.
segue because Money in the Bank took over that King of the Ring spot for leading into SummerSlam. Because we had that lull season between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, those 2 months, 2 months. King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring could easily fill that void,
It could, yeah.
and that would be great to see. And then, not gonna lie, Charlotte Flair would have to win the first one because she's
And the
literally the
second one.
queen.
And the third one.
Let's just keep
No,
going. yeah.
the first one, not the second one, but the third one.
And then Shinsuke wins because he's the king of strong style.
I would have put Ricochet down there because I don't know, but I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that they're planning to do in WWE that is exciting. The Fox deal we have going on, the women's possible main event, possibly
WWE 2K20
WWE 2K20. Hopefully you get your casket match
or Owen Hart
or Tommaso Ciampa.
or Nikki Cross.
Owen Hart's not happening. You got it.
CJ, we're not gonna get you started on the. There's CJ's rant of the year.
I hate Martha.
Oh God.
We'll just
All
leave
right.
it. Just leave it at that. Just
I think
Yeah,
we gotta
I
cap.
feel like that's. Yeah, we're pushing on 2.5 hours right now. Let's.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
like-
feel
Let's
it,
end
and I can feel every minute of it.
Yeah, we're all just like.
Yeah, I'm exhausted right now. Let's.
This is
Well, it's been a fun year, guys. It's good to see actually everyone here. It's
last
nice to-
one. What was everyone's favorite rant from this year? I
Part-
had two
I-
moments.
Honestly, my favorite just theme rant is just when the two of you just go at it. Me and Joe just sit here.
Yeah.
It is some of the most entertaining stuff from my point of
Just
view,
like it, I can see
watching.
why because it is very.
It is so entertaining.
We've had a lot of that
Quite
without
fun
you
watching.
guys. It's great.
and
Like,
it's not
It
even
is a lot of fun.
singular.
You
It's
should
just
see our
watching the
women's
two of you
ones.
go at it.
Didn't
was-
you guys almost like brawl? Was it the show after SummerSlam where Jimmy just bombed and they went at it?
Oh, he was so bad. I think it was something with Alexa Bliss or something.
Oh yeah, because I hated that pay-per-view. That's why. You want to talk about worst pay-per-view of 2018? SummerSlam was the worst pay-per-view.
You picked Alexa Bliss over Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to end in schmaz.
No.
Schmuck.
No. You were also the same person that picked Rusev over AJ Styles.
There's a possibility.
We're just pouring fuel right here. Light a match.
Good.
This is really fun, I have to say.
All right, so
good.
CJ and Jimmy in a steel cage match.
I will end you hard.
We'll see about that.
What I liked all of Jared's rants about Nicholas.
Nicholas. Nicholas. Oh,
And then-
I hate thee so much.
And then Joe's rants about
Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
yeah,
What?
those
What did
are-
I say about Brock Lesnar?
Those are fun.
You know what
Definitely
also fun? Everyone shitting on Jimmy for Rusev.
Not gonna lie, because I don't know what happens next week. I'm rooting for Rusev. I want this over.
No, because remember TLC, you're like, CJ, you're right. You know, Rusev deserves the belt. He's probably going to get the belt. Shinsuke is probably going to leave. But you're wrong. Shinsuke's going to win.
I thought this was at the pay-per-view. Now it's on like just a SmackDown.
It's on
maybe?
Christmas.
It's
Rusev
on
Day.
on a taped SmackDown.
They said
But
Shinsuke's
it's on
not going
Rusev's
anywhere.
birthday.
Come on, we got to just get this thing off Nakamura.
Yeah.
This is a train
Meltzer
wreck,
said
man.
Shinsuke's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but
He's
where's
not
he?
going anywhere.
What's
but he's
going to
just
happen? He
hold on
goes
the
to
belt
Raw?
until-
Yeah, come on, give it back to
Wait,
him.
what if we
Give it
get
back.
Shinsuke versus Rollins on Raw? That would be good.
That would be a good match, yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but if even AJ can't salvage him,
Well, Rollins, I think they could work. They
I
could
think
work.
Rusev
it.
just needs something other than just.
Rusev needs
I
AJ
think
Amazing-
Nakamura.
Nakamura's a
amazing,
sinking ship
awesome
in
entertainment
WWE,
stuff.
and Rusev needs a belt.
Rusev needs a belt.
What was also good? The draft. I liked our draft.
Oh, yeah, especially when you chose Jason Jordan as my pick. I remember that.
To be fair, though,
And you didn't pick Authors of Pain.
yeah, but let's look at how that turned out at the end of the year, though.
That's fair.
So,
That's
I mean,
disappointment.
I think it was just funny though, just my reaction to it. Like I was in the car listening to it. I'm like, Jason Jordan, really? Like you?
You have Ric
honestly,
Flair
I-
on the
I understood.
same-
I understood. Yeah.
There's a reason behind it, and I still actually kind of feel that way because I'm actually kind of excited and wanting to know if Jason Jordan's actually going to come back.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to see like
Yeah.
him turn heel on his.
Oh
father.
yeah.
I really do want to
yeah,
watch that.
the matchup of the two broken necks.
Yeah. Like father, like son.
God.
And that's
I also want to see like a heel American Alpha again. I think that would be really good.
Canadian Alpha so much better.
Well, Canadian Alpha is a cool name, but let's be honest, American
it on a
Alpha is
t-shirt.
better.
the Can-Am connection.
Oh jeez.
All right, we're done.
we're done. We're rambling right now.
We'll
Thanks
see-
for a great year, guys. It was fun.
Let's hope Baron Corbin gets released in 2019.
We'll see you next year, Audio Marks. Thank you, everyone, for staying tuned to our podcast. Special shout out to the Sachem Public Library for the continued use of their equipment and space. Continue supporting us by rating and subscribing through Patreon, Audio Boom, Stitcher, TuneIn, Castbox, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play Music, and Apple Podcasts at Marks for Life Podcast. And now, check out our YouTube channel, Marks for Life Podcast playlist and other content. Please follow us on our social media on Twitter at Marks for Life Pod, Instagram at Marks for Life Podcast, our Tumblr page, Marks for Life Podcast, and our Facebook page, Marks for Life Podcast. And email us at marksforlifepodcast@gmail.com for any questions, comments, or feedback. Until next time, Audio Marks.